All right, dude. I just want to tell you, dude. I've been getting trolled on TikTok all day, bro.
Bro, first we gotta start this off with an apology to Evil and Evil's girl. I was the one that kept you waiting. I'm sorry. It was my fault. Don't put it on my man Stevie.
No worries. Hey, bro. We're a team. We're in this together.
All right. There we go.
We're in this together. Bro, but I'm laughing because this young. So I posted on TikTok my reaction to the rumor about Majors coming back, and the freaking replies they said they should let Majors only fight the female characters.
Yo. The MCU will never be the same.
Yo, Kang kills the MCU. He just each episode is just She-Hulk, Captain Marvel. It just go down the line.
No. You know what? It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. As much as I would love to see that, I don't ever want to see She-Hulk.
Gosh, bro.
Unless we get Sophie Rain. If we get Sophie Rain,
oh my god,
I'm happy. Okay.
Yo, unhinged comic cuts
things on the internet. You want to talk about who should play Mystique? I'm gonna ride Sophie Rain. You know that came out kind of funny, but I don't have to say pause on that one. We are Sophie Rain stands, okay, and we will not accept Sophie Rain slander. And if you aren't for Sophie Rain, you are sexist, okay?
Dude,
I don't make the rules.
Bro, I will take J-Lo as Mystique before these people that they're recommending, bro.
Seriously, bro.
Oh, they got to stop, dude. They got to stop.
Come on.
All right. Guys, welcome to the Superherocuts podcast, man, where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy CV Hayes, joined by Jerry. Bro, what's up? What's up, bro? What's going on today, man? What's happening with you?
A lot of good things. It's been a great month. Great start to the year. Busy. A lot of the times, like I'm reading comics and I'm like kind of between one. I have so many good things I'm reading right now that like I didn't even read. I completely forgot. I'm like, I didn't even read any of last week's new releases. I did. I was just like, bro, I've been caught up with like Daredevil, Captain America. Now I'm on to. I realized. So I read New Avengers when I first started. It was one of the first Avengers runs I read, the Bendis one. And bro, I was so dumb when I started reading comics. I'm always like, oh, I want to get to the end of the run, and I would race to the end. So whenever there's like a side run or like a tie-in thing, I would always skip it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I never read the Illuminati run. There's a 6-issue Bendis Illuminati, and I'm like, holy shit, I never read this. And it's fucking incredible.
Let's go.
It is so sick. Yeah, bro. It's one of the sickest things I've ever read. They should that's like Bendis' fucking swan song, even though it wasn't his ending. He really crushed it. I mean, I'm on issue 4. I think I started it like last night. It's insane. But and then I'm gonna read Kree Skrull War again because it was meant to. Yeah. And I've been reading a bunch of Spider-Man again. Oh man, that's fucking great.
Let's go.
I'm happy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude. I'm in a good mood today. They dropped like 7 rumors today, so it was just like, what is going on? Like they dropped a lot of stuff, so we have a lot of things to talk about and cover.
Yeah.
And I think our friendship grew last week more so because of the fact that I'm like reading comics like a lot now. So we've been having a lot of just deep. And we were saying like, yo, we're doing podcasts through text. I'm gonna start posting screenshots of our text because we're over here seeing her cooking up bangers through our text, bro.
It's funny because when you were texting me like Thursday night, I was about to start a movie, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice the movie for a TV. We were just fucking vibing so hard.
Yeah, bro. It was, yeah, bro. It's But this is what happens when there's content coming out so much or on a consistent basis, bro. It feels good, man.
You know what though? Like you had that kind of experience with Hickman's comics, and it changed the way you saw comics. And it's funny because I want to ask you something. I remember once I said to you, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, but when I brought it up to you, you were like, no way. And I don't know if you're going to agree with it, but I think you're going to agree with me that it's debatable now.
What?
Would you say that comics can be the greatest medium for storytelling at this point after experiencing the Hickman saga?
It has to be.
Yeah.
No, what Hickman does will never. And look, I'm a movie stan. Nothing that Hickman has written, no movie that was created touches what. The only movie I could say is maybe Lord of the Rings. That's probably about it. There's no other film I can think of in my mind that touches what Hickman wrote.
Yep.
He's the GOAT. And if he doesn't write the movie himself, I don't know who. I mean, and I love the MCU, but this new event, and I got so excited. We have a whole topic of new Avengers just to talk about because it's just there's so many things I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when I read it the first time, I don't want to say I was skimming through it, but I didn't understand what was going on.
That's why I read it twice.
Yeah, and then when I started rereading it last week, it's just like all these things started just clicking in my mind, which is weird, bro, because when I read Fantastic Four, but I think it's because I talked to you so much about it before that I kind of had like understanding of what was going on versus with like Avengers, I didn't really know what was happening. So the second time, I'm just like banger after banger after banger.
Crazy, you know what I mean? With the Black Priests and Black Swan, and then the
Black Swan, bro. Black Swan was savage, bro. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and like, dude, you know what? The one thing I gotta say, which is crazy, is that like he has a translator for that like language that he uses.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's
some Tolkien type of stuff, bro. It really is.
The Hickman saga is the greatest superhero story ever told. Period.
Yeah. And that's what everyone says, which is funny that like everyone's in agreement. Like somebody said, like there's Marvel Comics and then there's Hickman. That's what they say. Like he is the GOAT. But I want to get into Fantastic Four because a teaser dropped this morning, and it wasn't really nothing crazy. It was just a bunch of kids and families running up to a TV like in the 60s, and there was a bunch of things on TV of the Fantastic Four putting on spacesuits. The score was playing, and then following that, we literally got a graphic of them saying, like launch begins tomorrow, and it's just that that basically sign of telling us, tomorrow we're going to get the Fantastic Four trailer. Now, I want to talk about the history of that. So there was a Fantastic Four notification, I guess, that popped up for Good Morning America, and Marvel ended up pulling it down because obviously, there's a lot of people that are anticipating the Fantastic Four. And to be honest, I'm not sure if Marvel knew how excited really fans were. I mean, for Fantastic Four. I really don't think that they knew that fans were that excited, because the second that thing got on the Good Morning America schedule, it just, the whole internet erupted and they pulled it back. But then they gave us a proper announcement, which I think was made during the weekend. I really do think that was like a last second thing. I don't think that was like preempted at all. And now fans are just waiting for tomorrow. For us, we're on the East Coast, so the trailer drops at 7 a.m. and we will be going live tomorrow night to break down the trailer and talk about it because it's just that important. So Jerry, how did you like the teaser number one, and how excited are you for this Fantastic Four trailer tomorrow?
I am so pumped. I love the teaser. It's the teaser established that they're going to space, and it seems like they're going to talk. We don't know how deep the origin is going to be. Stevie and I talked about this earlier. Obviously the teaser was alluding to the origin where they go to space. We have, said on this show before, we think first steps has a double meaning. We think it means that the first steps in outer space, but also probably means first steps with Franklin and Valeria, the children of Reed and Sue. So, I love the aesthetic choices that they made, like the retro TV vibe, which on paper, very similar to what they did with the TVA, and it worked. And we're noticing that Marvel is starting to do that more. When they find something that works post Endgame, they use it again, like No Way Home, the nostalgia cameos. They did it again with Deadpool and Wolverine. And I think that they know everyone loved the design choices for the TVA, and they're like, what if we go back a little bit further with the Fantastic Four? And I love it. I think everyone loves the design choices that we've seen, from the costume, the typography, the poster, the cream and blue. I mean, it's incredible. It looks amazing. They need this movie. You have to keep in mind, Marvel has never really had a major success in movies with the Fantastic Four. They've tried 3 times. Whether you like or don't like some of the movies, none of them were really major hits and critically acclaimed and well received in the way that it really needs to be, especially for such a critical time for the MCU and going against Superman. I have some theories on how this trailer came to be with the Tuesday. By the way, it's dropping February 4, F4. So, but I think that I don't know what they're going to do with the Super Bowl, and I'm not really worried about that. But I do think that there's a lot of pressure on Marvel with this movie and the reception of the trailer, considering the hype that the Superman trailer created. Whatever you think about the Superman trailer, the result is undeniable. Now, I do think that maybe it was a mistake to list it on the Good Morning America program. Maybe it was intentional to make it seem like they didn't mean to do it, but to get people anticipating it on Tuesday. And then they were like, you know what? Let's just announce it. Everyone already knows anyway. And the more people anticipating it, the better the numbers are going to be. I don't think it necessarily needs to beat Superman's numbers, but it needs. I do think it. I hate to say it because it puts pressure on it, but it's the truth. I do think that the numbers need to come close to the Superman numbers. I do, and they might not. They might not. It's Superman. It's the Fantastic Four. People know the Fantastic Four. But you have to remember, most people don't read comics. And if you don't read comics, how hyped for the Fantastic Four could you really be? And Superman, it's like everybody knows Superman. He's like Superman. He is like you ask someone that doesn't know superheroes to name a superhero, they're going to say Superman. Fantastic Four, listen, in our world, you could say they're as big, but in the real world, it's not really, because if I ask my mom, hey, do you know who the Fantastic Four? She'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? And listen, even if the trailer doesn't come close to the Superman numbers, does that mean that Fantastic Four is not going to be a good movie and not going to do well in the box office? No. But this is competition. No one plays for second place.
100%. So I am also excited. The score by Giannaccio, or however you say his last name, was fantastic.
I think it's Giacchino.
Yeah. The Giacchino score, Jerry, is just, and honestly, I don't expect anything less because the Batman theme is just freaking amazing as well. It puts you in the 60s. And I looked at you, I said, bro, I want to read Fantastic Four right now.
Yeah.
And I want to turn on the score and just read. That's how I feel right now with just that freaking that music. And what happened?
All right, no, go on.
And I do think that this trailer is going to be very big, and it obviously is because of the fact that Pedro Pascal's in it and Vanessa Kirby, both really big actors in the game, mostly Pedro. But I do think that this has the opportunity to make a lot of rounds, and it's because when you have the machines like TikTok, X, Instagram, and all that. I mean, bro, it's this trailer. If it is perfect and if it is great, you can do a lot of different things. Imagine the video edits with Galactus, bro. If they do it right with Ralph Neeson's crazy voice. And we already saw remember when we saw that leaked clip of Galactus' eyes coming down to the Future Foundation, what's call it? It's little things like that, Jerry, where it's you guys are they're going for it. And so I think it's gonna be exciting. But I will say this, and you and I talked about this in text, that if they put RDJ Dr. Doom in this, that trailer will do Superman numbers instantly.
Here's the thing. I am cautious about that because I don't think he has a big role in the movie. So I don't think it's the right move to put him in the trailer. I really don't. Because if he doesn't have a big role in the movie and people see him in the trailer and anticipate RDJ Doom in the movie, and he's only in the post-credit, people are going to walk out of the theater disappointed. It's going to impact box office sales. It's not a good move. I think that's a horrible move unless he really is in the movie and has at least I want to say 10, but going by what they do these days, I'd say 6 minutes of screen time. And I want to see Doom just like everyone else. I don't, number one, I don't think he's the right villain for this movie. I think they've tried doing Dr. Doom too many times with Fantastic Four movies, and land the Fantastic Four. You know, I like that they're being ambitious in other areas, but, you know, everyone knows the textbook definition of insanity, trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Do something different, and they're doing something different. Galactus is the superhero, and the second you make Doom, the villain, the second you put Doom in there, now Doom's competing with Galactus. Way too much for a first movie. No pun. I hate that I said no pun intended. The fucking term is so corny. Whatever. Land the Fantastic Four and maybe give Doom a post credit, and everyone will be happy with that post credit. It would be one of the most it would probably be the biggest deal of a post credit scene of all time. And that way it doesn't interfere with the movie. You get to sell Doom, you get the hype, and, you know, you check all the right boxes. But, you know, there are going to be people that are like, listen, there's a couple things that I'm not happy about. I'm not so happy about Pedro. I do think he's going to win me over. I think there are some people who are unhappy about Pedro for like really unfair and racist reasons. Granted, I'm not unhappy. I'm not really happy with the casting because I do think they should have casted a white guy to play a white guy. And I don't think that's racist. I like Pedro Pascal a lot as an actor, you know, but I do think that there are people, what I'm saying, that they just don't like him because he's not white or whatever. And that's what I'm saying is racist. I think he's going to win me over. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I've loved him in everything I've seen, which is why it's not really impacting my anticipation for this movie. Now, having said that, I also don't like that Silver Surfer is a female. Everyone wants Norrin Rad. Oh, well, Jerry, you know, Shia LaBeouf was in like 2 comics in the 60s, so it's comic. Bro, you know damn well the traditional Silver Surfer is a male, and his name is Norrin Rad, okay? So don't give me that bullshit, okay? And I have a right to be upset about that. But I still am super pumped for this movie. I also love Julia Garner as an actress. She was phenomenal in Ozark, one of my favorite shows of all time. You know, but like these are the characters that I like, okay? And I still think Pedro is going to win me over, and I'm going to be super happy with him. So I think that that's a fair point of view, and I think most reasonable people would agree with that. Now, you know, I also think that the MCU is really riding on this movie because we're going to go into Doomsday and Secret Wars, and we're going to see what's going to happen in like next week, really, with Sam Wilson creating the new Avengers squad. But we know that roster isn't going to be what it was in Infinity War at Endgame. So the Fantastic Four really need to deliver to land those 2 movies and the next Avengers cycle. Now, what a lot of people aren't realizing, what happens if Fantastic Four sucks, which I don't think it's going to do. But what happens if it does suck and it does impact Doomsday and Secret Wars? Is the MCU going to be done forever? No, because they're bringing the X-Men right after Secret Wars, which isn't that far away. So people are going to be saying, when that movie's come out, people are going to say, the MCU is riding on the X-Men. So listen, they're going to have another chance and another chance and another chance. But I do think this movie's going to work out. I think it's going to be incredible. And by the way, I don't want to say, oh, I don't think it wasn't racist. I didn't say anything bad. People have a right to want accurate castings for characters. And it seems that some of those complaints only go one way. And it's like, come on. Listen, I didn't complain about Kang. I did, you know, so it's just ridiculous. I don't know. I feel like we have people that just want to complain and be
screw those people. Screw those people.
Yeah.
They're not even.
I don't need to explain myself. To
that. Exactly. They're not even.
So, you know, when the mutants come and like that'll be cool. You know what? I also now I'm going on a tangent, but what I really hope is that they leverage the Beyonder, because what most people don't know about the Beyonder is not only is the Beyonder a mutant, he's also an Inhuman. So they could really leverage that with Secret Wars into the mutants. I really hope they do. But what we need to see, and this is another thing I want to see from Disney Plus and Marvel, and I think that they've done a horrible job with it. I don't think it's all their fault, but like Disney Plus was such a big rollout when it came out a couple years ago, and everyone was, what are we going to see from Disney Plus shows? And there have been, maybe there's more, I don't know, but the two that stick out to mind, there have been two shows that were kind of parlayed into movies, and those are Loki and WandaVision. You know, granted, WandaVision wasn't really so honored in Multiverse of Madness, but it did help sell Wanda for Multiverse of Madness. The second is the bigger one, which is Loki. Loki was 100%, the first season was made to build up Kang. I ended up rewatching it, and like if you rewatch it and you see the Kang clues all over the place. But they had to get rid of Kang and whatever. But they should be doing other shows to build into movies. Like there should be an Illuminati series or some kind of series about what they're going to do about the incursions going into Doomsday. And in these shows, you could have not necessarily the full Fantastic Four cast, but you could have characters like Reed Richards, meet Sam Wilson, who's not just Captain America, but he's clearly going to be the captain of the Avengers. Like, we need these characters to meet in advance of Avengers Doomsday. So I want to see some more connectivity there. I think that would be really cool, you know, but I think that this teaser trailer did its job. Fantastic Four was top trending on Twitter like all day, and Stevie would tell you that's how I judge success. But, you know,
it's fair.
It's fair. You know, best social media app in the game right now. You know, it really is incredible. You really get to see the conversation in real time. It's awesome. The most passionate fans. Some of them are annoying, but whatever. You know, yeah. I think this movie's going to be incredible. I think everyone's going to love it. I think it's going to be better than Superman. That's just me. Maybe I like the Fantastic Four more than Superman. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
I think Superman's going to be great.
I'm wearing a Superman shirt. Jeez, Louise.
I'm way more hyped for Fantastic Four. Listen, I'm always going to keep it real. And I love James Gunn. I love DC. I so want the DCU to succeed. And you should all want the DCU to succeed, because guess what? If Superman flops, the DCU could be dead on arrival. So everyone, if you're watching this, if you like superhero movies, see Superman. Get your friends to support that movie. We got to show it love. It means a lot for our fandom and genre.
100%. Now, in regards to the Super Bowl, I heard that for the Super Bowl, that there is going to be a Fantastic Four trailer, but they're probably going to show the same one. But the trailer to watch out for is Thunderbolts, and apparently they're going to do a pretty big reveal in that Thunderbolts trailer. And you and I talked about this months ago, which I think no one really listened to us. But remember when you and I were saying that they've been really quiet about it, and that you and I think that it's bigger than what people think?
Yes.
That's what a lot of people are now talking about, saying like there's a reason why they've been so quiet, and that this trailer is going to show us some wild stuff. And so that's the trailer that I'm really looking out for. And obviously, Superman is not doing a Super Bowl trailer, but they're doing the Puppy Bowl, and so that's going to be their trailer. But I mean, the big Superman trailer already came out, so I don't really think the Super Bowl would even help it at this point. You know what I mean?
Like, they don't want to spend the money.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too, that they can't afford that right now. From what you showed me, I think a month ago with their bread situation. But yeah, so with Fantastic Four, I agree with most of what you said. You know, like I do think the Shah Bob thing is stupid, but it doesn't really affect me. And but I will say this though, I am like the one thing that needs to be landed, and I will keep saying this forever, is Reed has to be done right. I don't care if it's Pedro or if it's freaking me, it has to be freaking right. You know what I mean? And Pedro has to sell me on talking like he's smart. I've never seen Pedro play an intellectual character. He's always played either muscle or a father figure role, you know, and he needs to sell me on being the smartest man in Marvel, which I think is hard because Tony Stark sold it pretty well. Tony Stark sold it very well. And as much as I can't stand what's his name, Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner also sold it very well in that Avengers 1. There was a whole Science Bros meme that is like built off of them, right? And I literally just had on Age of Ultron like few nights ago, and I'm just like, man, like them in the lab just cooking up Ultron, those are just some good memories, bro. So I hope that we land that. Now there is a victory lap that you have to take, that you need to go, which is the Future Foundation, because Marvel literally put the Future Foundation in their freaking caption. So could you just give a quick history on the Future Foundation, on how that started, just for fans that don't know?
Not only did fans think I was wrong, Stevie thought I was wrong on this one. So I'm taking a big victory lap. Yeah. So the Future Foundation was basically in the Fantastic Four in the comics. There was a battle in the Negative Zone. If you don't know the Negative Zone, it's a place where, it's kind of like the quantum realm, a little different, but it's like the Fantastic Four. They go to it and they study things and whatever. But there's a horde of like bugs, and they're led by a nihilist, and they are savage. Anyway, while the rest of the team was like escaping, Johnny, like I forget why he was the only one that could do it. I think it's because the heat kills them or whatever. But he was like, you guys go, I got this. And he sacrificed himself. And when that happened, Spider-Man and Johnny, if you don't know, are like best friends. So Spider-Man came around to hang out with Franklin and like cheer him up. And anyway, they ended up recruiting him into the Fantastic Four. But to honor Johnny, they're like, we can't be the Fantastic Four without Johnny. So we're going to be the Future Foundation, where we study on things to help the future. And Spider-Man becomes the fourth member in place of Johnny. Now, in the future, and later on in the comics, they find out that Johnny didn't actually die, and they save him, and he comes back. But during that time, Spider-Man was the fourth member. So when they say when you hear Future Foundation, like, you got to think Spider-Man. However, this is an alternate universe, so they could be doing an alternate Future Foundation thing. I think it would be wild if Spider-Man is in this movie.
That would be nuts.
But here's the other thing. They do need connectivity right now, and it is the Future Foundation. So it is possible. I'm not saying it's a 50-50. I would say there's a 20% chance Spider-Man is in that movie. I wouldn't put my money on it, but I would say there's a 20% chance he's in the movie. I would love to see him in the movie. I think it might be a little too ambitious to try to do that. Like I said, they're being ambitious with where they're going with the story and everything like that. But in terms of bringing in larger characters, I think they should play it safe there.
Yeah. Something that we've also talked about, I think last week, where we were saying how Marvel needs to do their directors better, or like they need to keep them. If Matt Shakman does land the Fantastic Four, keep him. You know, and like this is talent where if they do good, you can use them on projects like Avengers, or if you wanted to do an X-Men film or something like that. Like, I hope that and it seems like Marvel, it has a good group of directors with Coogler and Destin, and and now Shackman's getting his chance to do the Fantastic Four. Hope that they keep building this group of directors that they're work with. But yeah, I'm excited for first steps, and so tomorrow is the proving day, and we're going to see what happens, man.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, I'm not going to name him, but I actually do like this kid. Anyway, he was like 7 a.m. He was like, because he's in LA. He was like 4 a.m. and I'm in Kentucky, so like whatever. But he was like, they get 4 a.m. for a trailer. He was like, go to hell. And everyone else that doesn't live in LA, like LA, when a new show goes on, like it's like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whatever the case is.
For us,
LA, you get it at midnight, okay?
Facts,
so like,
facts.
Get out of here with that. You guys don't get to complain about shit.
Yes, let us win, bro. I mean, and most of Marvel happens in New York anyway, so it should be East Coast time.
Yeah, but no, it's East Coast time just because the only reason is because it's Good Morning America. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right, let's read some chats. Fans are saying RDJ Doom and RDJ Iron Man look the same because MCU RDJ Iron Man have been a kid adopted. Oh, he was a kid adopted by the Starks who was once Von Doom, but the Starks renamed him Tony Stark. You gotta love fan theories. Yeah, bro. Like,
no, that's a crazy fan theory.
The Russo said he is playing Victor Von Doom. I do think they will reference. Oh, you do look like somebody familiar, but it's not. I do. But it's not going to be. Well, there's a rumor that says that they are going to like ask about it, but I don't think it's going to be something that's like that's dove in like deeply into because it is the multiverse, and in my opinion, I think you need to use those threads, and I think that's a thread that you use. I mean, Deadpool, he did it.
Sometimes people just look alike. I mean, there's like Facebook pages where they call it Kanye East, and there's a bunch of people that kind of look like Kanye. There's another one, and it's called people that aren't Adam Sandler but kind of look like Adam Sandler, and it's great. They're actually hilarious. But like sometimes people just look alike, and they don't need to touch on it because this announcement broke everyone's brains. The other thing is that fan theory is crazy because people are literally trying to change the origin of Victor Von Doom, and Doom's origin is sick. Okay. If you haven't read it, hold on, what's it called? Books of Doom. It's only like 6 issues, but it's called Books of Doom. It's by Ed Brubaker. He's like one of the greatest writers ever. You could read it on Marvel Unlimited. It's sick. It's one of the greatest origin stories ever. And trust me, read it. It's like an absolute must read. You're going to love it. Books of Doom. I'm going to ask next week who in the comments who read it. So, but anyway, we're not changing the origin of Victor Von Doom so you could wrap your head around RDJ playing Dr. Doom.
Yeah. So I do not agree with the fact that they shouldn't reverse it because Iron Man is such a prominent figure in the MCU, and the fact that they're bringing in a character, and I don't necessarily think it's going to even be looking just like, because like the same way when Deadpool saw Chris Evans as a Human Torch, and he hugged him, and we were like, that's obviously not Captain America, right? Like, I think that he's such a prominent figure, to see a character that resembles him and looks so evil is different. And I also think
but Deadpool is
bro, I also think it's different from having someone that looks like you and that someone that like looks just like you, but that's the thing about the multiverse though, is that there are characters in other Earths that look like other characters, and I think that's the beauty thing that you can tug on. And the fact that Dr. Doom, the most menacing villain in Marvel history, looks like a prominent figure is crazy. But I do think that Doom's look is going to be so different that people are going to be kind of shocked, because I do feel like a lot of fans think that we're going to get the Tony Stark hairstyle and the Tony Stark stash. Like, have you guys seen Robert Downey? His hair is pretty like, you know what I mean? He's growing his hair out, and RDJ is going to look different, bro.
This is like it's on the last page.
I don't think he's going to have a beard. Yeah, I think he's going to be beardless with all that.
Well, this is the last page of Secret Wars, and his face gets fixed after his fight with Reed.
Let me see.
Yeah. He's not scarred up. But that's the very end. That's literally the last page of the last issue of Secret Wars. But anyway, listen, I don't think they need to touch on it. I think that like Deadpool gets to do that kind of stuff because it's a comedy. This isn't a comedy. And I feel like if they do it, they're just going to do it because everyone's so confused. And it's like they kind of have to dumb it down for everyone. But I think it's stupid. I think they shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I disagree, bro. I disagree. All right, let's see. Next thing. You guys should make a bet which one. We both think Fantastic Four is going to do more than Superman. So,
I don't know. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't bet one way or the other. Actually, you know what? I would like to see if Vegas has odds on this. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure Den and Nerds and Brandon Davis, they did it. But I think Brandon Davis is doing.
I hope Superman. I don't even care what that is. I hope Den of Nerds. Money.
So Jalen Harris, what's up, dog? Oh, we talking about the Fantastic Four trailer? Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah. I'm not the biggest Silver Surfer guy, but I liked him in a few things I've seen of him. Do you think Marvel will eventually bring Norrin Rad Surfer, or are they going to be stubborn and keep Shia LaBeouf? I think Norrin Rad's going to be it. Well, they said that Norrin Rad. Yeah, well, like they said themselves that Norrin Rad is going to be in the MCU. Like they've said that multiple times.
I'm looking that up
right now. Look that up. I'm more than sure they have said Norrin Rad will be in MCU, because they have talked about Silver Surfer projects for a while. And if I'm wrong, cook me, but I'm pretty sure that's true. There's no way that, I mean, if they keep on with Shia LaBeouf, that's whack. I ain't gonna lie. And it's coming from someone that really don't care. Like that would be whack. Also, Darren commented on TikTok. He said RDJ is going to be confirmed in the movie, so of course he's going to be a trailer. RDJ is not confirmed to be in the movie, bro, but Shaq been hinted to the fact that RDJ is probably going to be in the post credit scene. So two different things. Having someone in a movie is so different than having someone in a post.
Yeah, Feige said it. But it's crazy. Like, that's probably my biggest complaint. Like,
what?
Pedro, not that big of a deal. He's a great actor. He's probably going to deliver. Julia Garner is also a great actress, but like, why not give us Norman Rad? Everyone wants Norman Rad. He's the male Silver Surfer. Like, it's just so ridiculous. And like, for the people who are like, oh, well, diversity, like, bro, they already have Sue Storm. They have like one of the biggest females. I don't understand it. And like, also, if your argument for everything that like all these like stupid decisions is diversity, like, when is it ever the content the priority for you? Or is it just that your political messaging is reflected in the content? Because it seems to me that a lot of people care a lot more about seeing their political messaging reflected in the content rather than the content being good. And I am so tired of that.
Yeah.
Our content and our genre and our fandoms aren't intended for your propaganda. And I'm saying this to all political people. And I'm a political person. I, like everyone else, I have political beliefs. But you know what I don't want? I don't want my political beliefs to be in a movie, even though I agree with it, to piss off a bunch of fans. I'd rather the movie just be good and faithful to the comics and for everyone to love it and the movie to be as successful as possible for the better of the genre, period.
Fair
and like,
take. Fair
if you
take.
can't see it that way, not sorry, you're the problem.
Yeah, and that was me and Jerry's both stance on the Captain America stuff from last week. Like, we're not here to argue ideologies. We just don't want anything that has to do with politics in our stuff.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
definitely
Like,
more
we gotta
annoying
learn.
a comment like that like you absolutely disagree with. And the problem with Anthony Mackie's comments is like, now you have a bunch of clowns online that are like, Captain America doesn't represent America. Really? You like, it requires mental gymnastics to tell me that Captain America doesn't represent
Read the
America.
comments, bro.
You sound stupid.
Just read it. And I have a comic panel I can pull up right now. If you
don't read Captain America. You don't. Trust me, I've read more than you. I guarantee it.
100%. Also, I hate how people on the internet, Twitter, and Snyder Bros are just using the F4 trailer to S word on Superman and talking about it being a massive hit while Superman will flop. Hate Twitter. Yeah, you're just on the wrong side of X, bro. On my side of X, people don't talk that stupid, dog.
I love Twitter, but no, like, there are morons on Twitter. But that's the beauty of it. Everyone's there. Except for the people who are like, oh, I'm going to Blue Sky. Like, cool. You and your
have fun, bro. Have fun.
Yeah. Like,
when people defend T'Challa Bao is the same exact thing. When you say recast T'Challa and they go, well, Shuri was in the Black Panther. And here's the other thing. Just because it's in the comics doesn't mean it was good. Okay. Yeah. Like, and by the way, just want to put it out there because I read the comic. Shuri becoming Black Panther in the comics is way more earned than Shuri becoming Black Panther in the movie, by the way.
And Shuri became Black Panther in the movie because they were afraid to piss off certain fans.
Yes.
Not because it was the creative decision.
Yeah, not because it served the story.
Yeah, and that's a big difference that all those people conveniently leave out.
Yeah.
Or they're too dumb to recognize it.
Because if it served the story, we'll be having a whole different conversation. I ain't gonna hold you. But it doesn't. So, anyways.
When's the last time anyone here rewatched Wakanda Forever? Exactly.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't watched that joint since it left theaters.
Me too. I tried to, actually, and I turned it off.
The only reason I watch it is for Namor. That's the only reason why I watch it. Only reason why. Anyways, amazing casting. I'm 50-50 on the whole female Silver Surfer. On one hand, the actress being darn near in her. Oh my God. Okay. We're going to go to the next comment there.
Sophie Rain.
Yeah. Am I the only one tired of multiple different universes with Captain Carter and Maria Rambeau? Those were never the important characters, yet Marvel made them more important than what they should be. Yeah, I don't really think we're going to see them, bro. I don't hold you. Like, I think that's one that they're abandoning, dog. I really do. I just don't think they're going to matter in the grand scheme. And plus, if we're being fair, Wanda killed them off. So, and obviously there's a Maria Rambeau variant in the Marvels, but it ain't gonna be that important. Ruffalo as Hulk was great in Avengers 1 and 2. Ragnarok made me go, facts. And I like Ragnarok. This battle between Superman versus F4 and the Dino movie, I don't think the Dino movie is going to touch the toes of F4 Superman, but they're talking about the Jurassic Park movie. I don't think that's going to touch tie the shoes.
I'm still shocked that people pay attention to the Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the last one with Chris Pratt, but I don't think they even going to tie the shoes of these movies. But it's going to be interesting. Can't lie. I think this year will be huge for movie theaters and movie lovers. Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah, everybody's going to be at the movies, bro, for sure. Shanann and other superheroes are in this universe. X-Men, what?
Yeah, I think you need to revisit your comment.
Oh, Shackman, my bad. Shackman said other superheroes are in this universe, Magneto or Captain America. Wouldn't be shocked if there's an Illuminati.
The thing about the Illuminati, by the way, is that it's an Illuminati. It's a secret. Like when it was first formed, they made a pact that they weren't going to tell their families, friends, members of X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers. The design was that they get to meet in secret for the purpose of the Illuminati.
Also, what makes the Illuminati super cool is that they got to literally put this thing in their hands, like it's in their skin, and it's like it's like this beacon. And also, the way that Beast finds out about the Illuminati is so fire. So, all right, let me just nerd out for you guys real quick. So, the way that Beast finds out is Professor X basically scrapped this memory in Beast's mind, and basically when Professor X died, he has this note for Beast. It's called Remember. When he reads the note, he goes to this memory where Professor X just tells him everything. And as he's opening up the freaking wall to look at the stuff that Professor X left him, he turns around and it's the freaking Illuminati saying, welcome. Oh my God.
That scene was sick.
Bro, nothing is better than the comics, guys. I'm telling you, nothing beats this stuff, bro. Yeah. Oh my God. And sorry, guys. I'm nerding out. Let me stop. I'm sweating super hard right now. Oh, the comics are just king, bro. It really is. Oh man, I'm becoming Comic Cuts Junior, bro.
I love it, bro. I love it.
God. Okay. So all the toxic Snyder fans have fun watching the same 4 DC films over and over. It sounds boring, while the same fans actually give these new DCU films a chance. Dang, I meant 3 films. Do you think Marvel will actually scar RDJ's face and remove the beard and stash, keep the mask on 90% of the time, and keep the mask on 90% of the time, or will they just have RDJ keep his normal face unmasked half the time? I think his face will be scarred, and I think the mask is going to be on for a lot of the movie. I think RDJ will unmask, but I don't think he's going to do it in front of the Avengers. But I think, like, from our perspective, we're going to see a lot of unmasked RDJ. But I think when he's fighting, and to be honest, I want the mask on.
You're talking about Doom?
Yeah. His mask is so fire. I ain't gonna lie. I love him.
I do think that they're gonna need scenes where he's not in the mask, obviously, to convey human emotion. And I think they're gonna utilize that in a similar way they did with Iron Man. I also think RDJ is going to take advantage of when the mask is on. He's going to be chilling in the trailer.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, when the mask goes on, I'm out. Yeah. He's so funny.
Yeah.
When the mask is on, I am not on set. Best believe. Yeah. He is such a savage. Okay, yeah. Norrin Rad will be in the 616 the MCU. I'm not sure Shia LaBeouf makes it out of this movie. I don't think so either, bro.
I really
but if that's the case, why waste Julia Garner? And maybe you want to get a great actress to sell her, but she could have been another great character.
They love wasting talent.
Could have been a Captain Marvel recast, for crying out loud. Anyways,
they wouldn't do. Bro, I watched some of that interview. She is insufferable.
Told you.
I didn't realize how bad. Like, she is rude.
Yeah. Oh wait. Oh, the compilation I sent you.
I don't know if I watched that one. I gotta watch the compilation, but like the way she spoke to Chris Hemsworth was
I told you, that Avengers press run. I told you, bro, and you could see them getting uncomfortable. Like Chris was like, "Ooh,
she is 100% androgynous,
like
100%."
Yeah, bro, it's bad. I love Mackie, but he did mess up the Cap comment. I'm sure he didn't mean that, but dang, facts. And given what he said, it was like, but I'm not even gonna.
I agree with you, Hungry, except for the last part. I don't think he would have said it if he didn't mean it. I really don't. And listen, like it's funny. I wrote about it on Threads, and people lost their minds. And I wrote I was super fair about it. If you want to see it, go check it. I'm not going to read it here, but I've been a big fan of Anthony Mackie and Sam Wilson since day one. But that comment really pissed me off, especially because, like I said before, now we have people that oh, well, Captain America obviously doesn't.
Now they have a reason. Yeah.
Okay, Captain Marvel doesn't represent Marvel. Are you stupid?
Yeah. You see, and our opinions don't matter because at the end of the day, no one will really know if he meant it or not. That's why I think it's stupid. He should never said it. That still pisses me off. Anyways, all right, let me not get mad. Let's just go to the next topic or next question. I'm hearing Franklin Richards will be one of the most important people in the remainder of the multiverse. He better be. He better be important.
By the way, the other thing with Franklin, Marvel needs all the big tier characters they can get. They need Franklin. Franklin is such a big value add to the MCU.
He's a mutant, right?
He might be. Why am I blanking on that? Hold on. Let me check.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he's an Omega level mutant. Correct me if I'm wrong. I forget. I forget what they refer to him as, but pretty sure he's a mutant.
No, he's not. He was born with powers, but his abilities come from his status as the son of Reed and Sue.
Okay.
So people confuse that. Yeah. Okay. And, but he is considered an Omega level reality warping entity, which places him in a completely different category than most mutants who gain their abilities through the X gene. However, his powers have sometimes been described as similar to those of a mutant, and some interpretations have called him a mutant due to the X gene being a potential factor in his powers, though this is not the same as the standard definition of mutant in the Marvel universe. So it is a little confusing, but he's definitely not.
Yep. Okay, so guys, I'm going to skip some of these chats because some of these are cutting into the topics that we're going to talk about. So we're going to stop at the chats there. You guys can still chat on the next topic, but I want to really get to some of these other things. Okay, so let's talk about RDJ and Dr. Doom. So there was a rumor that came out today about Tony Stark that I wanted to really dive into. And we already talked about the whole Dr. Doom looking like Tony Stark, so I don't even want to touch on that. But Jerry, I want to read you this first part. Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom will reportedly be a one-and-done character in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Okay, and that is the rumor that had just came out today. So do you think that if RDJ is going to be done, do you think it's possible that he might go back to Tony Stark in this new in Marvel after, or do you think if it's one and done, RDJ's done?
I think RDJ's done. I don't think he's coming back as Iron Man. I know everyone wants him back as Iron Man. Iron Man's my favorite. I get it. But I don't think it's the right time to do it. I don't think RDJ wants to do it. I think they are paying a ton of money to come back for these movies. And I think he just doesn't like the scheduling commitment that comes with being such a big character in the MCU. And I think that was prevalent in him being killed off in Endgame. And I think that was also prevalent in the large sum of money they had to agree to pay him to even come back for just 2 movies. So maybe that's not true. I don't know. I would like to see Dr. Doom stay around a lot longer than Secret Wars. But you have to keep in mind where the main story is going to go after Secret Wars. If X-Men are going to be the center of the MCU, it doesn't make sense for Dr. Doom to be the main villain.
Yeah.
A lot of people are so stuck in the moment. And it's funny because everyone's talking about the mutants, but when people talk about the X-Men coming to the MCU, they talk about it as if the mutants are coming, and maybe some are, but they talk about it as if the X-Men movie is coming before Avengers Doomsday. And you have to keep in mind, things are going to change drastically after Secret Wars.
Yeah, true. You are right. So I am in the eyes of, I think Tony Stark needs to be a Marvel, period. Whether if it's RDJ or not, and even if people are mad with the recast, just leave the helmet on 90% of the time. All we hear is a voice. I just think that with Marvel to work, you need an Iron Man, and yeah, that's where I'm at. Same thing with Cap. Same thing with Cap America. And I think that it's kind of a good problem to have when you have the actors there, but when they don't, it sucks because these characters are meant to be recasted. And you and I have talked about this 1,000 times, right? We've seen it with Batman and now Superman. Yeah, these characters, like these actors, aren't meant to play these characters forever. And I really think that you need to just do the recast and just call it a day. And that goes across the freaking board, man. I just don't think that you put your all into Ironheart and all. I just don't think that's going to work. You need the big guys to actually do it. So that's kind of where I'm at. But what's up?
They're gonna have other big guys, and if post Secret Wars is going to be all about the mutants and X-Men, where do you see, like, what role do you see Tony Stark having in the mutant saga?
Where I think Tony Stark can. Well, I don't really think Tony Stark is going to be involved in the mutant side of the MCU because I do still think there's going to be things going on around the New York in general and like around the world because there's still going to be an Avengers and there's still going to be stuff going on there. And that's where I think that you can get an Iron Man who doesn't have to play as big as a role, as he has done before, but kind of taking a back seat while we get other people to kind of step up and take the forefront, like a Spider-Man and like, characters like that. Because I do think what can make the MCU special coming out of this post-Secret Wars is to have, multiple things going on, which is your mutant saga, your street level saga. Yeah. And we get the space saga and not to mention the Fantastic Four is its own saga as well. Right. So I think that there's room to have impact, but to kind of kill my own point, this is a reverse rebuttal. I also can understand that if I have Reed Richards, Professor X, a new T'Challa, if possible, like if we have these characters, is there a need for Iron Man? So I definitely see both sides.
Yeah. And that's why I asked that question, because I think that there are pros. I don't know if I necessarily agree or disagree, but if I am going to disagree, I think about, well, what would Tony Stark do post Secret Wars? And that's why I asked it that way. But I do think they need to rip the Band-Aid off with recasts. However, I don't, and I love Iron Man. Like, he is my number one. But I don't think that is the right first recast. I think that fans are just going to reject it outright unless it's literally Tom Cruise. And I think that, like, I think it could be done, but I think that they should start with T'Challa because people have already thought about the idea of recasting T'Challa, and it's already controversial to some people, but there's a lot of people like
next topic, which is hilarious,
who agree with it. So if they recasted T'Challa and then it works and people are happy with it, people are going to be much more open to recasting Iron Man, Steve Rogers, etc. However, I don't think they're going to recast Steve Rogers because you would flatline Sam Wilson.
I agree. By the way, Kenyon just sent a gift, and the gift means let him cook because you're cooking right now.
Thank you, Kenyon. I appreciate that.
And Kenyon said T'Challa should be recast. R.I.P. Chadwick, though, he to go. Facts, bro. Facts. R.I.P. to Chadwick, and Black Panther should be recast. 100% agree. And we're gonna talk about that. Yo, Kenya, we're actually talking about that as our next topic. So, yeah, let's just read a couple chats.
Throw your socials in the chat. I'm gonna follow you, Kenyon.
Facts. Oh, he actually follows me on Instagram, so I'll shoot you his gram. But I think you'll get all new Avengers after Secret Wars. Marvel will focus on the mutant saga. That would be crazy. I would end Secret Wars with an open ending. The soft reboot brings the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, but the status of the Avengers are left in question. Years later, you can recast the likes of Iron Man, Hulk, etc. within the reboot. It's interesting. I have to
recast Hulk like right now.
Yeah, bro's like, yeah, just get him out. I have to not agree. Most fans are not that dumb. They know what recast is and will accept any recast as long as it's good.
The reason I disagree with that, Hungry, is because I don't think it's that they're dumb. I think that they're just going to compare. And anyone who's going to be compared against Robert Downey Jr., they have to do such a good job. And I think it would soften those comparisons to recast someone like T'Challa, who's already been, whose recast is a very different situation than RDJ. But if they recasted, say, an unnamed actor or that's super talented and does a good job, like, people are always going to be like, oh, it's not RDJ. It's not RDJ. And I think that they're going to struggle there. It's not the same thing as like Andrew Garfield playing Spider-Man, because that's a completely different universe. You have to keep in mind this Iron Man is going to exist in the same universe that RDJ's Iron Man existed.
Yeah, but the only time to do it would be the multiversal saga, sadly. Not even sadly, that would be the only time to make it to make sense. And so my thought is like, if you want to do them, just do it now and do it now and live with the consequences for right now.
I think that listen, the multiverse isn't going to not exist after the multiversal saga. So
yeah,
I still think they could use the multiverse for things when they need to.
Yeah.
And I think it would be like out of this world crazy to do it now with RDJ doing Doom. Like, I just think it would be crazy.
Yeah.
Although the story would probably benefit most from them doing it right now.
True. Kenyon said, I got a question. Am I the only one that hates the clips being, hold on, my sister just called me on accident. Sorry guys. He said, I got a question. Am I the only one that hates the clips being leaked for movies before release? Are you talking about the Captain America Brave New World clips, or are you talking about just the clips in general?
Yeah,
I have been avoiding some Brave New World
clips that are released by Marvel, or are you talking about clips that are unearthed by some random person on the internet?
Yeah, because like Jerry and I have talked, like, and we both hit a point where we stopped watching clips because we just like, all right, this is a little.
Yeah, we'll watch the trailers and everything, and like, sometimes I feel like we still do need to watch the clips because we do the show, but it is annoying because like they reveal so much, and it's like I just want to. I don't need to necessarily see the trailer for Fantastic Four. I could not watch the trailer for Fantastic Four. I mean, I couldn't because I need to see it as a fan, but I will buy the ticket regardless of seeing the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, the trailers have always been there to sell the movie ticket. I'm buying the movie ticket no matter what, All
right, so he said, would have loved to see Thunderbolt Ross as Red Hulk as a surprise in the movies, not the trailer, but I'm more so talking clips leaked outside of Marvel themselves. Yeah, I'm not a fan of when they leak films outside of Marvel themselves. Like, we'll watch them because we cover it and you guys want to know, so we'll watch it and break it down, but I do think it's stupid.
I do think with the Red Hulk, like, I think it was if the screen time really is 4 minutes, I think that's horrible. But I understand why he's all over the marketing. Like, it looks cool,
Yeah,
and
the Red Hulk looks awesome.
Yeah, like, and I know everyone's complaining about it, but you have to keep in mind it is a business. They do need to sell tickets, and we need them to sell tickets, because if they don't sell tickets, they don't have the money to do all the things we love them doing.
100%. All right, which is why I gave my idea. Imagine Secret Wars comes out 2027 and soft reboots, and then a recast of Tony comes out like 5 years later. By that time, enough time has passed since RDJ Iron Man. Not a bad idea. Which movie do you think will turn out better? Eye of Evil. We can have an answer for you tomorrow about what we think off of the trailer, at least. Yeah, we can't really eyeball that yet. We can't really eyeball that. And anyone that's trying to eyeball you, like, they're lying.
Also,
like,
by the
we
way,
gotta wait after this trailer, man.
One of the things that I don't like about the Superman hype is that we really don't know anything about the movie from the trailer. The only dialogue was Crypto, take me home. We don't know. We're not really certain who the villain is. We don't really know what the story is, other than it's inspired by All-Star Superman, which Superman finds out he's dying, and he does all the things he wants to do to preserve Earth and humanity. But we don't really know where the movie is going. And it's so, like, I don't know. I have a hard time being so excited about a movie that I don't know that much about.
Yeah, 100%. And when you're dropping a first movie, like, you want to give a little more details. And there's so much going on, too. I think that's the other thing. There's a lot going on, which I like, but we need a little more explanation. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think people were just excited because it looks like a comic accurate Superman, and that is exciting considering the last iteration. But if I hear he's a beacon of hope one more time, I'm going to break the screen that I'm watching it on.
Oh my God. All right, now let's get to some Marvel Studios T'Challa stuff. So I want to read the direct quote from Mr. Nate Moore. Okay, here we go. So if you guys don't know, Nate Moore spoke about the T'Challa recast because there was a big rumor that came around and he kind of cracked down on it. So he said this. Where's it at? Okay. The truth is there's no truth to those rumors. Never say never to anything. We haven't really had a lot of creative conversations with Ryan Coogler yet because he's finishing his film Sinners, which comes out this year. Moore said, we will get into it later this year, but everything you read online is not true, if for no other reason than we just haven't started working on it yet. And then he also talked about vibranium as well. He said basically they asked him, would Wakanda have like anything to say about adamantium? And he said, I'm sure that they will have an opinion about it. I'm sure Wakanda had a opinion on Sam Wilson as Captain America. He said, clearly they seem to support him as they've given him some tech to help him out. But Wakanda isn't in the best graces with the U.S. government, so it is possible for conflict in a lot of ways. He said, I think Wakanda to me gets to play in the same political thriller sandbox as Captain America because it does deal with globalization and global politics. So anything is possible. And then basically they just went on to say that after Black Panther 3, Nate Moore's done. But Nate Moore has been the main producer for Black Panther 1, Black Panther 2, and Captain America: Brave New World.
You know, I hate this so much. And this is the kind of decision that makes me think, well, it came from the same place that decided to make Silver Surfer female in the first appearance of Silver Surfer in the MCU. It came from the place that decided to get away with Kang. You know, like it sounds to me like the place that makes all these decisions that we think, what the hell were you thinking? You know, it's just horrible. Like, you need T'Challa. You need T'Challa. He is one of the most important characters in the Marvel Universe. He's so important to this story. He's so important in Secret Wars. And it's like, it's crazy. And the whole excuse that like, oh, well, you know, he died. It would be disrespectful to cast him. Well, then why didn't you apply that standard with William Hurt, who played Thunderbolt Ross? You know, it's like, none of it makes sense. The reason they gave us doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. I don't know what else to say. It's stupid. And it's like, I don't understand how anyone can tell me that it does make sense and argue that. Like, there are some things that just sound so stupid that to even argue them, it requires mental gymnastics. Like saying Captain America doesn't represent America. It just sounds silly.
So here's something very interesting that I did in my research of this. Did you know that Ryan Coogler didn't cast him? He's not the one that casted Chadwick. Who casted Chadwick was Joe and Anthony Russo with Kevin Feige to play Black Panther.
That's not so surprising to me.
No, not at all. And this is where I'm at with this Nate Moore guy. I don't think Nate Moore is in those conversations at all. And I think that Nate Moore has always been involved with working on the film itself, but I don't think the recast of T'Challa is Ryan Coogler's decision, and I don't think it's Nate Moore's decision. If the Russos want T'Challa, they will get T'Challa, and that's my thought about it.
I don't think he would have said this if he didn't know what he was talking about, though.
Okay. So yeah, me personally, I don't believe it, bro. I just don't. And there's been a lot of people talking, and I'll believe it when I see it. There's just no way. There's just no way that I don't. I personally don't think that that's happening. But I will say, I think that what Nate Moore said is stupid, and I think it's just dumb to even if I was Nate Moore, even if there was no movement, I would have said something very vague to not even, you know what I mean, to just appease fans, you know. So this is just another turn of bad press from Marvel.
Maybe they'll make it up to us by casting Sophie Rayne as Mystique. Who knows? You know?
Yeah.
Listen, I would love to agree with you, but I do think you are in wishful thinking mode on this one.
Yeah, I might be, but I don't believe it, man. And if this is true, we will dedicate a whole episode to this, and we will go a solid 2 hours of just and I will pull up I'm telling you, I can pull up over 50 to 100 comic book panels, and we will go through each one to you and tell you why we need T'Challa in the MCU. And rereading new Avengers, bro. Like T'Challa is he's one of the greatest characters of all time.
Yeah.
Not to mention in the comics, there's no need for Shuri, bro. He is one of the smart. He can go toe to toe with Reed Richards in knowledge. You know what I mean? Like that's how dope T'Challa is as a character.
He does espionage. Like you could do so many cool things with him. And also, was it Ryan Coogler that was saying that they're going to go thriller horror on the next one? That sounds stupid to me too.
Well, the way that I saw that as like what I was viewing it from the eyes of a recasted T'Challa, and I was thinking of like you make T'Challa super dark, and if they go and if they use that Chibi story, then that has to deal with Mephisto. That's why I thought he said that, because basically Chibi makes a deal with Mephisto, and basically like when T'Challa's away, Chibi basically invades he invades the like Wakandan government, and it just gets nuts. And I think Denzel will play that role perfectly. I really think he would. Do you know someone else who they said would play that role good? They said Arsenio Hall. He's a comedian, I think. But someone else said, no, who would play Chibi? Yeah, he's like a comedian. But anyways, but I think Denzel will be perfect for that role, because it's low-key similar to the role he played in Gladiator 2, that the guy who's kind of like behind the scenes making things happen. Anyways, but anyways, not recasting T'Challa is the biggest L in superhero history, or in superhero movie history, and that will be something that you will never recover from. And if you put out a Black Panther film without T'Challa, mark my words, it will flop.
Yeah,
like the Marvels. Like the Marvels. It will not. It will. I don't even think it would do 100 mil. I don't even think it would do that, bro.
Bro, that's like making a Batman movie, but having Batgirl play Batman. Like it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. It's stupid. And you already had your Shuri. You already had Shuri. You did it.
Yeah. And for the people that like need, their moment, like Wakanda Forever, beautiful tribute to Chadwick. You want to think about Chadwick, watch Wakanda Forever, okay? I love Chadwick too, but we need someone to play T'Challa.
Okay, Kevin Davis. Wakanda Forever made $850 million. By the way, Kevin, Wakanda Forever underperformed, because that Marvel was looking at this to do $1 billion. By the way, it did underperform, bro. Just saying.
When's the last time you watched Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, because people love saying it did 800. Let's pull up the box office from.
By the way, I just want to let everyone know Kevin is our hater. He loves to try to annoy us in the comments. So if you want to show him some love, feel free.
Black Panther 1 box office did $1.346 billion worldwide. Okay, $1.346 billion, bro.
That's another $500 million on top of 850.
Bro, that is a big drop, bro. A really big drop.
And like the movie would have been perfect if it just had T'Challa.
100%. So, all right. Next topic in here. Now, this is actually good news for us, bro, because we're big Nick Fury guys.
Yes.
So this actually makes my heart happy. So Samuel L. Jackson will reportedly is reportedly set to return as Nick Fury in Avengers Doomsday. How do you feel about this? Because you're just like me. Nick Fury's awesome. So how do you feel about him coming back?
I love Nick Fury. I think this is great. I think that people weren't happy with Secret Invasion, and like I don't know what they were thinking with that show. I didn't hate it as much as everyone else, and I love the Skrulls. I love Fury. I love the Secret Invasion comic, which had nothing to do with the show. But like Nick Fury is a great character. And I do think that like Captain America would be a good movie for him to be in. I think that he needs to have some kind of relationship with Sam, and them two together, putting together the new Avengers team would be cool to see. But I'm excited that Nick Fury will be back in Avengers Doomsday. Like I always say, they need their top tier characters. Nick Fury is one of them. Samuel L. Jackson, one of the greatest comic book castings of all time. Oh, and for those of you who are going to say, oh, well, was it comic accurate or was race swap? First of all, it worked, so whatever. And number two, the Ultimates. So in the early 2000s, Marvel put out a book called The Ultimates, which was like a different version of the Avengers. In that book, they designed Nick Fury to look like Samuel L. Jackson. And in the book, they have a conversation. They're like, who would you want to play you in a movie? And what does Nick Fury say? Samuel L. Jackson. So it is literally the most comic accurate casting of all time.
Yep. I got to find that panel. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah. The Ultimate is good. It's a fun read.
Oh, that sounds fun. But I do agree with everything you said, bro. Nick Fury is one of the greatest comic book casting of all time. The instrumental work that he did to make the Avengers initiative work is perfect. The one thing, bro, I love about Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury, it doesn't matter how powerful you are. It doesn't matter if you were a god or man. Nick Fury will find a way to relate to you, you know. And it was like, and the one thing that I love is that Nick Fury was like the father of the Avengers, In Age of Ultron, after they get beat by Ultron, and Tony and Steve just dropped a fire code on Tony, where he's like, bro, every time someone tries to prevent a war before it starts, innocent people die every time. Probably one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard. And we could relate that to a lot of things happening today, but time for another day. Yeah. But and then Hawkeye's wife is like, yo, we need you to fix the freaking riding lawn thing in the shed. He goes in, and Nick Fury just pops up like, I'm here to clean up the crap you made. That's Nick Fury. He's the father. He's the guy, you know. And so I hope that we get that version of Nick Fury in the MCU. I don't want a lot of comedy, but I want Nick Fury to be the master planner that he is. And and I do think that him and Anthony Mackie as Sam, bro, I think like that's perfect camaraderie. And I even love when he was with he was trying to recruit Peter to work with Shield too. I thought that was hilarious. So I hope that we get to see that again, man. Because one of the biggest L's, bro, was not having Samuel L. Jackson be active in this phase. I think that's also another thing that hurt it, because a lot of people don't see it this way, bro. I think Samuel L. Jackson, Jerry, helped connect the MCU in the beginning years. Because he popped up with every single character, him, and then you have Agent Coulson too. Like, you have his team being around. It helped, you know, connect the dots, you know, leading up to that first Avengers film.
He helped. I mean, the Captain Marvel movie, he was integral to, you know, and also like in the first Avengers movie, like those scenes when he was talking to other government officials and intelligence, and he was like, you know, putting together a team, and they were kind of against him. He was a major value add to a lot of those movies. Samuel L. Jackson just has that swagger. He has the charisma. Nick Fury, he plays the part well, genius, intelligence level type of guy. And you have to keep in mind that, like, yes, the MCU is spectacle, but dialogue drives a lot of it home. And when you have someone with a swagger and charisma like Samuel L. Jackson, it makes movies work.
Nothing beats the black trench coat with the eye patch. Forever be the one, the swaggiest things you ever wear. It's like a spy pirate, dude. So awesome. All right. Let's read some chats here. Let's see. My love for T'Challa came from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Hero, then watched Civil War and Black Panther 1 and loved T'Challa even more. And when Chad died, even me, a guy who hasn't read T'Challa, supported recast T'Challa facts. Then once recast T'Challa came, it made me start reading T'Challa, right?
Okay, I'm going to take this one. So Kevin Davis says, Marvel Studios has been up and down at the box office. People show up and support the MCU at theaters. Yes, people do. But Black Panther was something special, okay? And there was a lot of hype around the sequel, but it didn't deliver the way the first one. And it's not just a little dip. You're talking about $500 million difference, Kevin, okay? That is one of the most significant drop-offs in a sequel. So the Marvel, like, you're trying to, like, disconnect it. I'm sorry, it's connected. It didn't happen. It was a big drop. And just because some other MCU movies didn't perform as well, this one did still perform decent. $850 million is good But for a Black Panther movie, it was a major drop off. And you're lying to yourself if you don't think if they recasted T'Challa that it would have done much better than 800.
Yeah.
You're lying to yourself.
And Kev, you also got to think about like this, right? Imagine you start a YouTube, right? And for the first week, you do 1,000 viewers every day, right? Every time you live stream, you get 1,000, right? Like you're getting 1,000 viewers a day, and you get 100,000 subs a day. But the next month, right? You do 500 views a day, and you get 50,000 subscribers. You would not count that as a win because you just went down, even though the numbers are still big. It's not comparing to what you've done before. That's how you have to view business, bro. Like sometimes, and this, and like when you work in a corporate company, like I have, and and Jerry is still right. You know how this whole profit thing works, Jerry, and a lot of money gets put into these films. A $1.346 billion to a 800 million, but that's bad, bro. That's really bad.
$500 million, bro.
That's bad.
A lot of movies, if they do $500 million, they consider that a win.
Yeah.
So if you fall off by $500 million, you have to look at how did that happen? And
yeah,
what was the biggest complaint about Wakanda Forever? That it didn't have T'Challa.
Yeah, and best believe that
rocket science, bro.
Yeah, and if Shuri worked so hard, we would have seen her in other Disney Plus shows and projects.
100%. Exactly.
They would have went all in on
Shuri. If they really believed in Shuri, we would have seen her a lot more. She would have had a bigger presence. She would have something to do with the incursions coming, but we haven't seen anything. And they're even considering dropping Eyes of Wakanda. So, like,
yeah. And look, we like Shuri. Shuri's a dope character, but in her right, like as in her place. As being the genius behind all the tech. I mean, she fit well in Black Panther 1, but like her taking the mantle, I ain't feeling it.
Let's wrap this up because I am so tired of like arguing with people.
I got you,
because Kevin, you know why I don't like arguing with you? Because you are a liar. You're deceptive, you're manipulative, and you are playing mental gymnastics while we are putting out an honest argument. And I'm not arguing with people who play mental gymnastics anymore. I'm just not. It's ridiculous.
Say they do recast Charlotte Oakland Black Panther 3. This stops at 951 billion. They still going to be disappointed. Do you still believe Kevin Feige? Do I still believe Kevin Feige with what? Recast Charlotte.
Let's not even go down this. These mental gymnastics. Get out of here, Kevin. Bring us something real, or we're just going to ignore your stuff.
Yeah. So like if they bro, you got to understand, bro. The money isn't the point. The point is that T'Challa is Black Panther, period.
Yeah. And what was the question I asked him last time that he never answered?
I don't remember. But I did type it down. Hold on. I have it in my notes.
Okay, great. Because, Kevin, if you don't answer this question directly, we'll never answer another one of your things again, ever.
So you asked him why...
why is it okay to recast other characters but not T'Challa? That's what it was. Why is it okay to recast white characters but not black characters?
Yeah.
I want a direct answer.
Well,
never answer.
Well, remember this started because he backed Kang, and you were like, why you want to recast Kang but not?
Yes.
T'Challa? Yes. That's where it came from. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So why do you want to recast Kang and not T'Challa?
Dang, never saw Jerry this. He did. Yeah, Jerry's chill, bro. But when you start wriggling around, bro, it's weird. Like it's weird when you do this type of stuff, dude.
I'm so tired of people on the internet with their dishonest arguments. It's so aggravating, and it's not just Kevin, but Kevin's the only one that does it in our comment section. Yeah, and like I said on Threads before, our comment section is not your safe space.
Yep. Do you still believe in Kevin Feige with the future of the MCU? Well, what Kevin Feige said, right, that I love, he said the MCU could go on for another 80 years, basically saying that the content that Marvel puts out is so great that it could be endless. So I do agree with that. So I'll just say that. All right. Okay. Now I want to read some Peter Parker details for Avengers Doomsday because they dropped some stuff and I was kind of like interested in it. So, Jared, I want you to hear this, bro. It says Peter will be consumed by his role as Spider-Man in Avengers Doomsday, that it leads him to mask what happened to him in the previous film. Unresolved issues and repressed emotions could slip out from time to time in Doomsday, but they won't be addressed until Spider-Man 4. So you and I kind of talked about how in Spider-Man 4, we kind of are, or at least me, I said that I do tend to see where like Spider-Man could like be in a zone where like he has no MJ, he doesn't really have a lot going on, and he's just focused on being Spider-Man. But I wanted to ask you this because you literally just got done reading a Spider-Man run. Is it Peter Parker like for Spider-Man to repress a lot of his emotions and kind of just take it on the chin to like be the hero? Like, is that a Spider-Man feature or is that kind of a reach? Because
No,
I haven't read enough Spider-Man to know that.
it can be. I mean, there are times where he definitely gets so consumed by it that he puts things on the back burner, or will talk to himself while he's swinging and be like, damn, I really have been so wrapped up with Green Goblin that I forgot or haven't really been there for MJ or Anna, who he was kind of seeing in one of Dan Slott's runs. Anyway, but I do think that we are going to see a version of him where he is so consumed being Spider-Man because he doesn't really have a life as Peter anymore. He sacrificed that. And you have to remember, the point of Spider-Man is that he doesn't get to be happy as Peter Parker. One of the most common things I see Spider-Man comic fans, and listen, I am one of the biggest Spider-Man comic fans. I've literally read every single modern Spider-Man issue. Okay? It's annoying because I'm always looking for more Spider-Man. I wish I was always reading Spider-Man, but it's hard to do when you've run out. Anyway, but yeah, people are always like, oh, screw you, Marvel. Peter should be with MJ and he should be able to grow and have kids. Like, you don't get Spider-Man. The whole point is that he doesn't get to balance. With great power comes great responsibility. And that responsibility leads him to have to make the sacrifice that everyone saw him make at the end of No Way Home. And that's one of the reasons that movie is so iconic. But it just makes sense that he's going to be so consumed into being Spider-Man. I'm sure there's going to be a moment where he's like, I have to work on Peter again or something like that. But he kind of fluctuates because there are times where he tries to put his personal life first. And, you also saw that in Spider-Man 2. You remember the iconic scene where he tosses the Spider-Man suit in the garbage and he walks away? That shot is based on the cover. If you Google it right now, if you're watching, it's called Spider-Man No More. It's one of the most iconic Stan Lee, Steve Ditko stories. It's great. But so in that story, he put Spider-Man aside to focus on being Peter. But there are other stories where he puts Peter's life away because he needs more time as Spider-Man because the bigger threat or something like that. So it goes back and forth. It definitely wouldn't be out of character for Spider-Man to be so consumed. And, I think that, everyone loves to say Spider-Man's relatable. I think that that's relatable for people. Sometimes when things are tough in life, a lot of people kind of dive into work and become a workaholic, and that becomes a release or an escape from things that are going on in people's personal life. And I think that that's what it's going to be for Peter as Spider-Man in the upcoming story or Spider-Man 4 movie that we're going to see.
Yeah, fair point. And I also like this too, bro, that, Peter is going to be kind of consumed by his role as Spider-Man. And the question is that, and this is why I said in my TikTok, where is Peter Parker going to be after Doomsday? Where is he going to end up? Because I think there's a lot of options that we need to consider. So that's one. And then two, I think it's going to be good character progress or we're going to see Tom Holland actually. That sounds rude. We're going to see Tom Holland get in his acting bag. Because now Spider-Man got trauma. You know what I mean? His aunt just died. He lost the girl that he loved because she doesn't remember who he is anymore. It really feels like I'm reading some type of comic book story, to be honest. And and I feel like, Jerry, a lot of fans think that this new era of Spider-Man is going to be happy and amazing, kind of like what you said. Nope. And
how would anyone think that?
That's dude, I don't know. I've heard a lot of stuff on because everybody thinks that he's going to have Gwen Stacy. He's going to be the happiest person. And I'm like, he might have Gwen, But Peter is going to be depressed, bro. Peter's going to be upset, and he's going to still put on that mask and be the hero because that's what Spider-Man does.
I think at some point in the movie he'll put his chin up a little bit again. I don't think he's going to be depressed, but he's definitely not going to be happy. And you know what's interesting about Tom? First of all, if you like that scene when he goes to the donut shop and he conveyed that emotion so perfectly, like. People knock Tom Holland a lot. He did in that he deserved an award for his
putting back those tears.
Bro, that was Oscar worthy. The other thing that's interesting about Tom Holland is that Marvel is so happy with Tom Holland as Spider-Man that people are saying that they see Tom Holland Spider-Man influence everywhere. They're saying they see it in the comics. They changed. So when the Spider-Man PS4 game dropped, originally it was a different Peter Parker design. They ended up changing the design. So if you updated the game or bought it later or whatever, they made the Peter Parker in that game look more like Tom Holland. And if you look up the OG design, and then in Spider-Man 2, the PS5 version, it was the same Tom Holland looking Peter Parker. And then everyone was saying from last week from Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that they saw Tom Holland's influence there. So Marvel,
oh my God, he does it more like Tom Holland. Oh my God,
yeah, and
I never repeat that.
They are so happy with Tom Holland that they're using his influence, and it's not just the design and the aesthetic, but it's also the way he carries himself and all that. So they are so happy with Tom Holland. It's they are trying to make every piece of Spider-Man they do more like Tom Holland. And I think that's a testament to how great Tom Holland is at Spider-Man. I don't think it's a bad thing. Sometimes when an actor does there are certain moments for characters that alter the course of their story. And I think that Tom Holland is that for Spider-Man. And you know who else did that?
Who?
Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man. So for everyone who's oh, Iron Boy Jr., well, guess what? Tom Holland's standing on his own pretty damn good.
100%. And I agree with everything you said, bro. That was a great way of actually putting out. I'm clipping that for sure. That's going to be on the YouTube in the next couple of days because, tomorrow's Fantastic 4 day. So we ain't uploading nothing till that night. I'm not even because, bro, I promise you, if I try to upload a video, it's going to do no views. It's going to be all Fantastic 4. Let's read some chats real quick. 3 things I want to see in the future Spider-Man movies. Retcon Zendaya, MJ to marry Jane and not Michelle Jones and give her the red hair. Harry becomes his best friend and the uncle. Yo, the Uncle Ben thing, Hunger Money, you bring this up every time, bro. And I'm not going to ask you because last time you gave me a rant, so I understand. RDJ, Dr. Doom will hit Spider-Man hard. Yeah, literally. He's going to literally hit him hard. All right. Now, let's get to this X-Men reboot. Blah, let's go. So, got your 6, bro. I got her 6. All right, so let's get these X-Men reboot details because we are both big X-Men fans. So it says this. There's a rumor. The X-Men reboot film will reportedly not be an origin story. This is due to the film being released after Avengers Secret Wars. And did you ever think that this was going to be an origin, like the first X-Men film, or did you think that they were going to just get right into it?
I think they're going to get right into it. I think they're trying to move away from the origins, especially with characters that everyone knows. I think Fantastic Four, they want to touch on it because, the Fantastic Four doesn't have the same type of movie legacy that the X-Men do.
Yeah, true.
So I don't think they want to touch on it for the X-Men. If you want an X-Men origin, you could just go watch X-Men First Class, X-Men 1, and get that, they want to take advantage and do something new and fresh. So it feels new and fresh. I think that's the type of ambition they need to have. And I'm excited for it. I never thought it was going to be an origin. No.
Yeah, same here. And it seems like that's not Feige style anymore. Even with Black Panther 1, we didn't see T'Challa first get the heart-shaped herb, right? We just went right into a story. And I think that was the perfect intro into that film. And I agree. I expect the same with X-Men. My focus is more on the characters. So we're going to just go right into this next topic with the Cyclops casting rumors because there's been 2 people that have been in talks to be on the short list for Cyclops. So let's name those people off. The first is Harris Dickinson. He is on the short list to play Cyclops. If you don't know who he is, he was actually in the Kingsman movie. The main character of Kingsman, he was the son that ended up dying in the war. And the second person is a kid named Jack Champion. And Jack Champion really hasn't been in anything. He was in Avatar, but but I'm pretty sure that was the only big film that he was in. Now, here are the ages. Harris is 28 and Jack Champion is 20 years old. Those are 2 big age gaps.
Yeah.
And so it is obviously being pointed that they are obviously going for a really young character, definitely a 20-year-old. That's like Tom Holland age from when he got casted to play Spider-Man. So I want to ask you, bro, how do you feel about them going for that younger 20-year-old age for to play Cyclops?
I don't know. I think it's a little young. Like I would like them to be probably a little bit older, because I think if they look older, they could feel more commanding and, experienced, but maybe they're not going for the older, more established X-Men, and they want to go younger and they want to keep them around for a really long time, and that's my hope. If they are going younger, I hope that they are planning to keep them around for like 10 plus years and really build the MCU around the X-Men, because it seems to me that they didn't really have a proper plan in place post Endgame, and hopefully they're learning from that, and that is what's being reflected in the younger castings, because they're planning in advance intricately for the mutant saga.
Yeah. So I do like the younger age, mostly because when they start filming, he'll probably be like 23 anyway. You know what I mean? And I want Harris to play Nightcrawler, yeah, instead of Cyclops. And I think Harris looks more like Cyclops, but I just like I think Jack Champion has more upside as an actor, if that makes sense. Kind of like how so here's a prime example. Oh, this is a great example. So when they were trying to cast for Spider-Man, there was a actor. His name was Asia Butterfield or something like that. He was in this movie that kind of popped in. I forget the name. Huh? Yeah, it's some weird name, but he was in a movie that popped, and he was in main talks for Spider-Man. But and Tom Holland wasn't really a big actor at all. But they end up using Tom Holland because they feel that Tom Holland had more upside as an actor. And now today, that guy who was 10 times bigger than Tom Holland, we don't hear about him anymore. I don't even think he's doing work. And Tom Holland just got casted with one of the greatest directors in our human history, and he's the lead. And he's the lead. So I think that Jack Champion has a little more upside than Harris as an actor, and that's where I kind of like the Jack Champion casting. And I do like the idea of them casting younger, mostly because I do like the idea of growing up with characters, because it does feel like we're growing up with Tom Holland, even though RDJ is way older than us. It felt like we grew up with him and Cap and all of those characters, and so I do like that kind of thing. And I will say this though. Actually, I'm gonna save this until we answer Hungry's question, because I was about to talk about Hugh Jackman, because I heard some rumors about what they're gonna do with him. I'm not sure if you're going to be a fan of that.
It would be odd to bring Hugh Jackman in with a 20-year-old Cyclops.
They don't. So here's what I heard. It's from so Den of Nerds said they're going to keep him with Deadpool for a little bit.
What is a little bit? What do you mean?
They want to do a Deadpool and Wolverine 2. But what the heck would it be about?
I'm not opposed to Deadpool and Wolverine 2, but I don't want Deadpool and Wolverine 2 to be the reason we don't have Wolverine.
I agree. And I think that you can make Hugh Jackman Wolverine work with a young X-Men team, mostly because Wolverine's already old already. So I think it's like more accurate than what people think. I think it would be actually cool.
I'm not.
The only weird thing will be the Jean Grey and Wolverine romance, because he's like 60 and short, and the girl that they're casting is like 24. But hey, man,
it's
a movie.
I'm not keeping up with the like I don't keep up with this stuff because I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like celebrity drama doesn't impact my life. Like I'll never understand why people follow it so closely. But I have been seeing people say that they think both Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are like going to be canceled.
I heard about that. I heard about that case.
I know a lot of people also think Justin Baldoni is going to be canceled. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you how it started. I just know that like it has to do with sexual harassment and they're suing each other. But people are saying that like all three of them, some say Blake Lively. I don't know. Some people say Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are guilty. Some say Justin Baldoni is guilty. I don't really know guilty of what, but some people think Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are both going to be canceled so hard. And maybe that impacts the prospect of Deadpool 2. I don't know.
So the reason why they think Ryan and his wife are cooked is because they're the ones that started this, right? They're the ones that pressed the charges, but then they asked the judge a week ago if they could drop the lawsuit. And that's where everybody's like, you're trying to set up this man for failure when when Justin Baldoni, he was about to direct a Pac-Man film, live action, that he got canned for. So it's pretty bad, bro. It's pretty bad. I'm not sure who's innocent or not, but it's like a crappy situation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Harris Dickinson as Cyclops is interesting. It is. You can see him as Cyclops. Yeah, I can see it too. I just would go a little younger in my opinion. And also I also want to say this. I'm happy that they're going for C-list actors, B to C list actors. When you cast A-list actors, man, the issue is that the commitment is not there. When you cast actors that are trying to make a name for themselves, they will commit to these roles for a long time.
Yeah. Also, like someone like Dakota Johnson, who isn't even really an A-list actor, but she clearly thinks she is, and she like mocked comic books. Like we can't have people who mock comic books, and I don't really care if you like them or not, but like if you're a good actor and you read the comic books and you could play the role well, that's what we need. And if you can't do that, like no.
100%. Question is, let's say Hugh was not staying as Wolvie and they recast. Are they going to go young Wolvie actor since they're going young Cyclops actor? I always felt like Wolvie, Cyclops, and Jean are similar in maturity. I think they should go a little older, but not too old.
Yeah, it's got to be close where it's like
he got to be in his 30s or something.
I don't know about that. I think they should be like 3, 4, 5 years tops.
Really?
Yeah, of each other. Like, yeah, make it relative. Like, it's going to be weird if one of them is much older than the others.
Yeah, that's fair. Wolfgang Novogratz as Cyclops.
I don't know. Wolfgang.
Wolfgang is the guy from the movie The Last Summer, and he was rumored. He auditioned for Superman, I think.
You said rumored. That was funny.
Sorry, no, yeah, rumored. Right? Yeah, it's just so bad. But I'm pretty sure he auditioned.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was what it was. I just thought it came out funny.
Yeah, now I have to rewatch it back to hear it.
Yeah,
but yeah, they said. But I'm pretty sure that guy. I think he tried to play Superman, but got canned. Okay. Steve is way older than Tony, but maturity-wise, they are the same age. Wolvie, Cyclops, and Jean are similar situations. So I don't know how I feel about a way older actor for Wolverine with a way actor Cyclops Jean. Yeah, so that, and I see that point. Okay. Now, this is going to be an interesting conversation here because this rumor dropped today, and I got 4 retweets and 8 likes. I don't really get that much buzz on Twitter, so I was shocked that people were like really like showing love this. So, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige is considering bringing Jonathan Majors back as Kang in the MCU. I think this is very interesting because obviously we can't confirm if a rumor is true or not, but I more so want to talk about the fan reception to this rumor. Excuse me. I more so want to talk about the fan reception to this rumor because a year ago, the tone was a lot different on Jonathan. And Jerry and I, we covered this like very closely. So we know everything that has happened with Jonathan Majors. And he had a trailer that dropped called Magazine Dreams. I want to see how many views that did real quick. because I want to see if like the YouTube viewage was crazy. Magazine Dreams trailer. Let's see. So
I love Jonathan Majors, man.
Yeah. So it's called Magazine Dreams. It's about a bodybuilder. So it did. Oh, that's not good. It did 821,000. That's not good. But it did 821,000 views on YouTube. But it is coming from a small studio, so that might be big for them, to be honest. But the movie does look incredible. John that the Majors is in peak condition for that role also. So a lot of fans were giving a lot of positive reception to bringing Jonathan Majors back, and they're like, "Yo, we would love to have King the Conqueror back, but make it Jonathan." How did you did you take a look at some of the fan reception to this as well, or and also what was your opinion on this when because you sent me this as well?
Yeah, listen, I don't really know like what happened. I know a lot of people said he didn't really do anything wrong. It seems like a lot of people really believe that, and I think she even said he didn't do anything wrong. So if she said that, like, bring him back, like this man's life. If she said he didn't do anything wrong and this man's life is being ruined over it, it's crazy. But I love Kang. I would like Jonathan Majors to play Kang again and get to see Kang. It sucks. Like Kang is one of my favorite villains. I think Jonathan Majors was incredible as Kang. And who else thought he was incredible as Kang? Marvel, because they wanted the whole saga to be around him. That I'm convinced Loki was partially made because of Kang. And, so I think they were really upset about that, having to scrap that and regroup. But they were definitely really happy with Jonathan Majors as Kang. And Jonathan Majors as Kang was like generational acting. He was incredible. And you have to realize to play Kang well, you have to be like lighthearted and menacing and humorous at the same time. It's a very, very difficult character to portray correctly. And Jonathan Majors was incredible. I think moral judgment aside, I would love to see Kang in the MCU again.
All right, let's get nerdy real quick, okay? Bro, I think that what Marvel was doing with Kang would have made Jonathan Majors as Kang the greatest villain of all time. Because with Thanos, Jerry, we saw him once or twice, and then we didn't see him until we got the big movie, which is what they're doing with our DJ's Doctor Doom, right? Like we're going to see bits and pieces, but we're going to get that big movie. But what they were doing with Jonathan Majors, which I think was going to make him the greatest villain of all time, is that they were using the different versions to introduce different villains. We got Kang in Ant-Man, and actually watching that back, I am not mad that Ant-Man beat that version of Kang, because and then you go to Loki and we get another version called Victor Timely. And I even believe that we were going to end up seeing Iron Lad and all these different versions of King the Conqueror throughout the MCU. And I always felt like they were trying to build this beautiful picture that, hey, there's so many versions of Kang that we can use the same villain in different versions for each MCU film. And I thought that was incredible. And where I do, and Jerry, I just came to this revelation after watching Multiverse of Madness. They fumbled by not putting Kang in that movie.
I agree.
They fumbled by not making Wanda the villain and not using Kang destroys the whole theme, because there was a theme going around that Kang is everywhere. He's the guy. He's everywhere. And to make the villain Wanda, you have the Illuminati and they don't mention Kang the Conqueror. It's like and then in Loki, we get this whole deep dive on the multiversal war, and the Illuminati doesn't talk about him when he's the main villain. Anyways, I'm not gonna go down the road. But yeah, so they were building to make it like the greatest thing ever. And then remember when you and I read that old script for Avengers 5?
Yeah.
And we were like, this is some of the best ish I've ever read in my life. Yeah. That is the biggest fumble of all time. And yes, I think Dr. Doom is a better character than King the Conqueror, but I think the story, what they were doing, was going to be much better. And as much as I love Avengers Doomsday, and this is coming from someone who months ago, or when RDJ was first cast, I still think it's the right decision. That story, man, it could have been one of the greatest things we've ever seen on screen,
the other thing people have to realize is that a lot of times Doom takes out Kang, So they could have had like the way I would have done it, and the way I always hoped Marvel was going to do it was do the multiversal saga, and at like the very end of Kang, you have Doom take out like Prime Kang, and then Doom becomes the villain, like, and you get the best of both worlds, you know. And I think people would have been shocked by that because like you expect it to be the Avengers, but it's really the bigger villain taking out the smaller villain, you know. The whole, and I also think that a lot of the problems that we're having is that the multiversal saga was initially designed around Kang and it started a little slow, but it was like, I also think people were too harsh on Quantumania. I love Quantumania. I thought
fans weren't patient, bro.
They weren't patient, and there were other bad decisions being made at the time that I think gave people a harsher lens on other things. So like, you know, a lot of like when they made America Chavez the star of the Doctor Strange movie, and she was the one who saved the day at the end, like that was a bad decision. And then people negatively judge other things based on not liking the decision. You become harsher on them, and it's just it's a problem. You know, so listen, I think Jonathan Majors is great. The multiversal saga was obviously designed around Jonathan Majors Kang, and now they're shifting. You know, that's why like they really need more Disney Plus shows that add connectivity and help drive the main story forward. Not random shows like, as much as I loved Echo, like why? Why
it's
did
not a direct tie-in, right? Exactly.
And what was the purpose of She-Hulk? Like, we need shows like an Illuminati show, or you know, a show that's like what Namor, help connect Namor to other characters, or like something that serves a purpose other than like. But we get things like She-Hulk. It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. And like, why are people so hype about the Fantastic Four? Because they know it's a direct tie-in to Avengers Doomsday. You know, like they know that this movie is very important. Why are some people excited to see Brave New World? Because they know that this is like when Thunderbolt Ross says to Sam, "Let's restart the Avengers." That's what fans care about, bro. Like those are when you say words to like those, and then you're hinting to, you know, multiversal thing, like that's what matters. So yeah, man, Kang is the biggest fumblage. Not recasting T'Challa is number one, but number two is definitely Kang.
You also have to remember, like, about, you know, Steve, you're really cooking right now. You've been on it tonight, bro. Like, but no, you're right. You know, when people hear things like, "Oh, let's start the Avengers team up again," you have to remember when the MCU first started and like a different character appeared in a movie, and like, or the post credit that you're like, "Oh, Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, like Thor's coming," people got so excited. That is what built hype around the MCU in the beginning. And we have to get back to that. I mean, when was the last time we even got a post credit that got people excited in that kind of way? You know, I think I would probably say the last time we got a post credit that got me excited, which is ironic because I hated the movie, but the Marvels, when Beast, you know, like things like that. But they're not leveraging their Disney Plus the way they should be, and it's disappointing.
Yeah. Do you know a super dope edit I saw on TikTok like months ago? Basically, they reworked Doctor Strange, right? And basically, they made the ending when he first walks into the room with the Illuminati, and then all you see is the dark figures, and the screen just goes black.
Oh man, that sounds sick.
Yeah, and you see like the empty chairs. You know what I mean? Right. It's freaking awesome. That's incredible. It's like those are what fans want. Like, put the Illuminati at the end of Multiverse of Madness, make the screen go black, and then we get an Illuminati series. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that where I think they could have done it, but
also you have to keep in mind, like in the story leading up to Secret Wars, the Tony Stark forms the Illuminati to figure out how they're going to save themselves from the incursions. So the time to make the Illuminati, according to the comics, is literally right now. Like in the story, in the comics, the Illuminati exists to prevent the Earth being destroyed by the incursions.
Yeah.
We don't have Illuminati. We have nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah, unless if we don't know. I'm kidding. Right? And we should know about that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah, if you had the chance to bring him back, you do it. All right.
Yeah.
Now let's get some DC stuff, okay? So I heard this earlier, which was wild. So actor Harry Goodwin's posted a photo of Green Arrow with the following caption. He said, in 2025, I have big moves. It's happening. He also tagged James Gunn and posted the photo of Green Arrow. The story post got deleted, which is freaking hilarious because James Gunn was like, yo, why you like what you doing, bro? But and then today, I think that the Instagram is called Gunverse, which is a very reliable source. James Gunn has liked their photos and stuff, but
that doesn't mean that he's getting info from the right source. That just means that James Gunn likes the account.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, James Gunn has co-signed some of his stuff. You know what I mean? That okay. Now Gunverse posted this rumor that Green Arrow is rumored to be in Peacemaker season 2, which I think is insanity. What is your instant reaction to hearing that it's possible for Green Arrow to make it?
That's like one of the characters I'm dying to get news on, so I'm so happy to hear it. And I think it could be really cool to see Green Arrow with Peacemaker. Green Arrow some characters are like more versatile than people realize. Green Arrow is one of those characters. You know, he has enough personality that he's fun to watch interact with really anyone. I think that people wouldn't normally think of him with someone like Peacemaker because he is like a little more serious and brash, but he is strong in his convictions. He has personality, he has charisma, and I think that if you see him with a character like Peacemaker, I actually think that it would contrast really well.
And dude, look at the face hair. He looks just like him. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a picture perfect casting, bro.
Yeah, he really does. Wow.
Like, that is like from comic to freaking real life, bro.
Oh, now I'm dying to read more Green Arrow comics.
Yo, it's funny you say that because I literally was thinking about that too. Like, when I saw him, I'm like, I need to freaking read it, bro.
Too many comics, not enough time.
Yo, by the way, dude, I am itching to get to Moon Knight. There's just so many comics, but I know, dude, you talked about it. It's on my list, though, bro. I've been itching to read that freaking comic.
You should read Spider-Man Blue first. Sorry, Life Story.
Bro, Life for you.
You are going to read that and be like, holy shit. I should have read this a year ago. You're going to have that kind of experience.
All right, I'm going to add it.
Incredible. Yeah, bro. Yeah, don't sleep on Spider-Man.
Yeah. But yeah, this Green Arrow, this is gonna be awesome. And if they do it right, you know, like, look, we got Arrow, but he was way darker. I'm excited to see a DCU fantastical, fun Green Arrow. It's just gonna be awesome. So hopefully he's in it. That's gonna be fun. And it's also going to give a lot of fans a reason to watch this season 2 as well. Adding in characters like that, which I think is very creative.
Yeah, it is very creative. And that's the kind of creativity like DCU needs to bring, because I hate when people say, oh, well, it's just the DC's version of the MCU. Like, James Gunn is one of the most talented creatives in the game. He is going to innovate in ways that are going to be surprising.
100%. 100%. I'll read some chats. I'm glad Majors is getting his life back together, but I think for both parties it's best to move on. But I will leave the door open and bring him back for a couple years if you have something for him. This is what I'll say: if Majors and Marvel don't come together, James Gunn, pick him up, please. Put him somewhere. Like, he's meant to be in superhero movies. He's made for it, bro. Enzo, there is another way to bring Iron Lad in the MCU. Ty Simpkins can play Iron Lad. That's the kid who was in Iron Man 3, right? Everybody thinks that kid from Iron Man 3 is Iron Lad.
Yeah,
that's been a theory since Iron Man 3.
Yeah, would have been cool.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Kevin Feige is still learning their lessons?
I hope so.
I hope so. Like, we all know that the Marvel's failure was a big punch in the face for them. And I think there has been some improvements, but I just don't like, and maybe this is what put DC in the financial hole they're in, probably. But I respect Zaslav for canceling the projects that fans didn't want to see, versus where I feel like Feige's still releasing them even though he knows they're bad. That's the only thing that I don't like about what Marvel Studios are doing. Like, yes, Zaslav is in the red right now, but I would rather live on the risk of doing content right for the floor to rise rather than making my fans eat poop
and damage the brand.
Projects. Yeah.
And nobody wanted to see Batgirl until it was canceled. By the way, when I hear things like Nate Moore saying they're not recasting T'Challa, it makes me think they're not learning from their lessons.
100%. For DC and Marvel, 2025 Superman and Fantastic Four, 2026 Supergirl, Lanterns. Oh my gosh, 2026 is gonna be a crazy year too. Dang, we're getting Lanterns before Doomsday. Holy heck. 2027, the Batman 2. Wow. By the way, I am standing on this. I am joining you, Jerry. Secret Wars is definitely getting pushed back. I am joining you on that. I think they're gonna do some projects in between that.
Hopefully, we get an Illuminati project, bro. I can't wait for the Lantern. I feel like such a geek right now.
Yeah, bro, we're nerding out, dude. Yeah, the Lanterns is going to. Oh my god, I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. And bro, they're filming right now, or they're doing test screenings and stuff.
That's amazing.
Gosh. There's a rumor that the Teen Titans movie is going to be the 2003 lineup: Robin, Grayson, Starfire, a Beast Boy, Cyborg, Raven. What if they release this before Raven and Bold and Dick becomes Nightwing in the end? Then Raven and Bold introduce Damon. Wouldn't be against it. And I'm happy that Cyborg is a Teen Titan. I hate Cyborg in the Justice League. Like, I never was a fan of it. So there's better characters you could put in place instead of Cyborg. By the way, there's this funny scene basically where the Justice League, they're sitting at a table and it's Jon Stewart and Hal, and they're trying to recruit new guys. And then they go to Guy Gardner, and both Hal and John say no. And then Barry was like, yeah, but, and they were like, no. I was laughing so hard. And hopefully Guy Gardner gets roasted for that stupid hair cut he has.
Yeah.
Anyway, gosh, that haircut is so dumb.
Horrible.
Do you think
I started to really like, by the way, is Alan Scott.
Oh, yeah, he's cool too.
Yeah,
Alan Scott is cool. I like the cape.
Yeah, the cape, the beard.
Yeah, he's cool. Do you think they can still redeem Moon Knight, and how they can? Moon Knight was fire. What do you mean redeem? You mean bring him back? Well, yeah, he needs to be back in the MCU. But the Moon Knight show is dope.
But it was dope. They could do a lot of cool stuff with Moon Knight. Like,
another humble way to involve Kang. You could have easily put Rama Tut in that John, bro. Like, come on.
In the comics, Moon Knight with his powers, he's a lot like Daredevil. Like, he deals with not mystic or like godlike characters in a street level way in New York City, and it's kind of like gritty and godlike. It is so cool. That, especially the Jed McKay Moon Knight run, which is great, which I don't want to be hyping up too much right now because Stevie wants to read it, but I'm going to make him read Spider-Man life story first.
Yes. I'm reading that this week, bro. I'm definitely reading that this week. I'm not reading Dan Slott Spider-Man. I'm not. So I'm not finishing it at all. Huh?
It's Chip Zdarsky.
No. I'm talking about Spider-Man. I'm not reading Dan Slott Spider-Man. I'm just going to drop it. I think I'm going to.
But you should read it in the right order.
Yeah, but I want to read Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man.
Instead. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I think I want to read that, and then I'm gonna pick up Moon Knight towards like the end of the month, because I have a few comics that you told me to read. So I'm gonna reread those, and then I'm gonna hit Moon Knight around like the end of the month, because I want to watch the show too.
What you should do with Spider-Man is, once you read Life Story for everyone, because I told Stevie this already, but Life Story takes you through all of Spider-Man's history up until like today, and it's written by Chip Zdarsky, and it's not just like a history lesson. The comic itself, like, it's a fun read, it's awesome, and it will make you obsessed with Spider-Man. Then you should read J. Michael Straczynski, Amazing Spider-Man.
That's what I was thinking about. JMC. Yeah.
You should do Life Story first, and then do Straczynski, because Life Story is 6 issues. It's going to fill you in on everything that came before it anyway. And then do J. Michael Straczynski, and then after you do J. Michael Straczynski, you should do the Dan Slott in order.
Okay.
I would say, like, listen, there's a lot of good stuff in the Dan Slott stuff. I think he just had Spider-Man for too long, and it was probably like there were ups and downs, but some of it's good, and also it's like, it's Spider-Man, bro. You got to read Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna add that in there. Bet. Just to type it down in my notes. I got like a whole list of comics, dude. It's like 2 pages. Okay. We're just slowly going down the list, right?
Yeah.
The slow grind.
I go down the list and I jump around. And,
yeah. Oh my gosh. My hope is that to see a Green Lantern movie where we see Hal Jordan and Kyle for the. I know you're a Kyle guy. I'm not really a Kyle guy, but I want it to be a while before we see Kyle, man.
Yeah.
Like we got Hal. I love Kyle Chandler, the Hal Jordan thing. Let's rock that for a while.
I also really want to see Kilowog.
Oh, dude, yeah. Now you're cooking right now. Now you're cooking. He needs to be brutal. Can you see Wolfgang as? I cannot see Wolfgang as Cyclops. I cannot. I don't see it.
I can see it.
You can? I don't
but
see
based on looks, I don't really know his.
I think he'd be a good Beast.
But they already have a Beast.
Oh, are they going to keep the guy? What's his name? I forget his name.
I'm assuming. I mean, I can't imagine he was in the
post. They probably will. It probably will. I guess he's all CGI. It doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah.
By the way, dude, I've been seeing so many. They're saying that Lex Luthor looks like Pitbull, bro. I've seen so many photoshops of the Pitbull mustache.
That's hilarious, Mr. Worldwide.
Oh my god, the internet. Yeah, as we always say, the internet always wins, dude. With these moves. Okay, now last topic of the night. I want to nerd out because I'm rereading New Avengers and my eyes are just opened again. Okay, I want to first talk about the beginning, right? Remember when like they're hiding Namor in this like Wakandan temple thing because they don't want the Wakandans to see him after all the crap that he did, and then T'Challa's like, you know what, like I'm going to put aside my need to kill you for the greater good, but after this I'm going to kill you. And Namor is just like joking around the whole time, bro. Like
Namor is a savage, bro.
So this won't ask because I haven't read any Namor outside of the like Avengers and Illuminati stuff. Is it how he always is?
No. I mean, he'll like he's almost like the reverse of Spider-Man. Like a lot of times he's very serious, but he'll quip like the way how Spider-Man he'll be fighting and he'll like throw out a one-liner.
Yeah,
Namor will be very serious, like political negotiations, and instead of like a funny one-liner, he will drop like a savage one-liner dick. And it's so savage that it's like funny, but he's not really like being funny in the way Peter Parker is. He's like, but yeah, Namor is just that guy. It's funny because you were like, you always love the characters that are like you, and I'm like, that's so true. I wouldn't be able to realize that with myself, but yeah, I love Namor, bro. He is one of my favorites, and I was thinking about it earlier today because I was reading the Brian Bendis Illuminati run, which, by the way, if you don't know, Brian Bendis wrote New Avengers in the 2000s, and he did a tie-in Illuminati run, and it's 6 issues, and it is incredible. It's 100% an absolute must read for any comic fan. But Namor is like so savage in it. It's crazy. He's such a G. I like people who are willing to stand in their conviction, especially when dealing with people like someone like Kevin, for example, who's just going to be like dishonest and deceptive and put out like a fake argument. Sometimes you just gotta be willing to cut through their own argument. But yeah, Namor is great. New Avengers. What was it for you in this comic that made you see comics differently?
Okay, New Avengers changed. It's not even comics on just superheroes in general. Because growing up, like you always think that the superheroes always choose the right thing to do, like the Captain America. Like Captain America was kind of my view of all superheroes, and even with T'Challa, like seeing the Black Panther film, and I'm gonna just say it, T'Challa in the comics wipes out any MCU Black Panther I've ever seen in my life. And like seeing T'Challa, seeing like everybody on the Illuminati team wrestle with the whole incursion thing, like do we destroy another Earth? And like T'Challa's mind is already made on what he's going to do, but he's going to manipulate you to make you feel like he's on your side for like a moment is awesome. Reed is like this he's an optimist. You know what I mean? He's always super. He's always trying to see the good and everything. But then here's what changed me, Jerry. Tony Stark. Tony Stark, which shocks me because and I think the MCU has portrayed perfectly that Tony Stark is a futurist, right? He always is looking for the future. But what made me laugh, and Jerry, like, and I know what, like, there's like a LOL, but I legit laughed because
it's the best.
Yeah, Avengers World was a dummy mission because Tony knew that there was no way to solve this incursion problem.
Right,
But Tony knew that it would have been chaos if he told them that there was no other option. You know what I mean? And when I saw that, Jerry, it just told me it was like a light bulb that popped in my head. And this is what heroes get wrong. All right, let's get super deep. What heroes do wrong is when they think that they know the best option for the world, and
they choose on your behalf.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I feel like Avengers World and the whole Illuminati is that they were choosing on their own behalf and their own beliefs, which a part of it makes sense because they're the most powerful beings in the world. But from a bigger picture standpoint, it's like,
but also
kind of crazy.
You know, it's not everything is everyone's choice. And like with the Superhero Registration Act, for example, like, you know, I think Captain America was right. And I'm going to do a video on this, guys, and I hope you'll pay attention to it because I've noticed, and I'm just going to say it, but a lot of people are saying lately that comics are woke and all superheroes are woke. And it's a really silly point of view because, like Stevie just said, you know, on the Illuminati, you have a diverse group of viewpoints. A lot of the characters have different viewpoints on how to handle incursions. And to imply that all of these characters have the same political views and it's all so black and white is not accurate. First of all, a lot of the superheroes are liberal, but a lot of them are conservative. And granted, they don't, you know, none of them are putting on a MAGA or Kamala hat or anything like that. But their viewpoints and their values and their ideologies come through in their writing. And you could kind of see where characters would stand. But I am tired of people saying like, oh, well, of course this character's woke. Of course, they're first of all, a lot of the ones they're claiming are woke aren't. And I think that the Superhero Registration Act video I'm going to do is going to challenge a lot of the things that people are saying online lately about the superheroes and their politics.
Yeah.
You know, and I am going to do a video on it. And I'm really not going to be looking to shift anyone's views. I'm really just going to tell you what the characters did, how what they did lines up with the ideologies and values of what people have done in the real world, and kind of leave it to the viewer to decide. I'm not looking to shove anything down anyone's throat or, you know, be aggressive or like rude or flippant or anything like that. I just think that it's not conducive to comic books and comic book movies for people to claim that all these characters think different than you. And like, you know, you don't understand these characters. Like it's obnoxious. And first of all, it's above that, it's incorrect. And like, you know, it's funny because when I first talked about this kind of concept with Stevie was like, well, that's not true. And it would be boring if all these characters did have the same viewpoints. And, you know, I think that the Hickman saga, especially the New Avengers run with the Illuminati, is a great example of that because you see all these characters, like they all make different decisions, even though they end up coming to agree with one decision towards the end. But they don't all think the same. And if they did, like this would be boring. And it's kind of crazy that there are a ton of people on the internet that are like claiming, well, oh, of course all these characters are woke. It's like, it's so dumbed down and oversimplified and really a reach because they're not. You could point, and also there are some things that might be liberal with some characters, but some that might be conservative. Like it's not everything is black and white.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially ideology.
Yeah. And also, Jerry, like sometimes we get so caught up in our American politics. Like T'Challa's politics isn't either. He's a tribalistic man who will do anything for his people. And say same thing when it comes to Doctor Doom and what's his home?
Latveria.
Latveria. He'll do anything for his people. And that's what kind of like opens my eyes with, and that's what kind of that's what made me see T'Challa in a whole different light. Because like that's kind of how it felt. Because like that's kind of how it felt like it started in the beginning of Black Panther 1, but then at the end of Black Panther, he becomes like, oh, I want to help with the world. When I'm reading comics, it's like T'Challa was never like that. Like T'Challa never wanted to do that at all. And to be honest, bro, that tribalistic mindset, it was made T'Challa a better character. And so
more too.
Yes, him, the more, they're so tribalistic when it comes to their people, which is why the T'Challa and Namor beef is so insanity.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. So yeah, that's kind of where like, so that's how it changed my view, bro, because it made me understand that a lot of these heroes, all right, this is the best way I want to word it. A lot of these heroes have evil views, but they do it in the name of good.
Give me an example of that.
Okay, so and we can just use new Avengers. Like we can just use the just the idea of itself. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it came down to where the incursion had to collide into Wakanda in order for Wakanda to be safe, but the rest of the world would have been put to ashes, T'Challa would have done it without hesitation. He would have protected Wakanda without hesitation.
See, I don't really think that is. It's tough, and this is why it's not so black and white. Like, I thought it's interesting because now I'm thinking maybe not, because I would be screwed. But when I thought about it, like I also thought Tony was right, because Tony. So at the end of the story, they come to the decision that they are going to use something that Reed built called the antimatter injection system. When an incursion happens, two Earths collide. Either both of them explode or one explodes and the other survives. So you really don't know if your Earth's going to explode and die. If you could avoid an incursion, you guarantee safety. So they were going to put the device on the other planet to blow it up so the incursion never occurred. Tony built the Illuminati behind Cap's back because he knew Captain America would never be okay with sacrificing another Earth to save themselves. I always thought Tony was right because they had to save themselves.
Yeah.
In this instance, it's the same thing. It's T'Challa doing it because he thinks, I don't really necessarily think that's evil. I think, listen, everyone's going to die anyway. If you could save yourself, you save yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and it's a similar concept to an airplane, put your mask on first before helping others. It's the same concept.
Yeah, exactly. And even with the whole Steve Rogers thing, it's like when I'm like reading comments, I'm like, Steve, come on, dog. Like,
it's crazy.
You gotta stop it. Because like you get annoyed because all right, when you read New Avengers, right, with no context, right? Like, because when I first read it, I was like, I know Steve is gonna hate this idea. You know what I mean? Like, even before Steve opens his mouth, and then when he starts complaining, I'm like, dude, just shut up. Can someone just get him out of here? And then Doctor Strange does, and I'm like, oh, this is the greatest comic of all time.
It's the one time I ever disagreed with Captain America. Ever.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but like at the end of the day, did Cap have the best morals? You could argue that he didn't, because in his version, everyone dies. But in Tony's idea, half of the people survive. Like, and that's why it's not so black and white. Like some people might have thought Captain America was right. Captain America and Tony Stark are both heroes. You might agree with one and not the other. One might be a conservative viewpoint. One might be a liberal viewpoint. They're still both heroes. Like, it's crazy how everyone's like, oh, well, they're superheroes. Of course they're liberal. Like, it's
the con, and it's also it's doing a disservice to the comic book content and the work that these guys put in to make these characters seem so complex and different.
And the fandom, like, why are you trying to be like? Why are you trying to insult other fans and put people down because they don't agree with your politics? Like, that's gross. And like I said before, I was like, even if I see something in a movie that like I agree with, like, and it's like reflects my politics, like I think it'd be better off to not have it, to not piss off half the fans, like, and I'm consistent on that, and I feel like
100%.
it's like, I'm just gonna say it, but whatever, like Hudson Thames, the kid that voiced Spider-Man for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, he was like, I'm worried it's going to be annoying and woke. And I was like, I thought it was horrible he said that. Like, because, you turned off a lot of fans. And a lot of the fans that it did turn off criticized it. And I thought they were right to criticize it. But then when Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie says that, they like celebrate it and criticize anyone who criticized it. And it's like, you can't have it both ways. And it's, at some point, it's like a lot of you just want to hear your politics reflected in this, and to the extent of pissing off other members of your fandom. And it's gross. It's hypocritical, and it's really not cool. And it's not good for the genre or the product itself.
It destroyed Star Wars forever.
It's a great point. It really did.
You saw what it did to Star Wars. So hopefully we can get a change. But yeah, man, New Avengers is like, but that's why New Avengers changed my view, is because like I always felt like, and the MCU reflected it too, but I always felt like there was like always like a level of like goodness in a lot of the hearts, and there is goodness in T'Challa that's shown, but like when it comes down to the wire, like there's just certain convictions that override that, which I think makes characters like Namor one of the greatest character deep dives in comic history.
Right. Yeah, he's just so epic, and like he's savage, like he's unique in that way.
Yeah, but it's weird because him and T'Challa hate each other, but they're so much alike.
It's true, bro. I actually screenshotted it. He said he was in the Cerebro with Doctor Strange and Professor X, and he says, "Can you read that?"
No, I can't. Can you?
I'm here because Richards doesn't want me near his lab or his wife. Or his wife.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Bro, it's great. Like, he is that savage,
Yeah.
They should be doing a Namor project, like, period. Like, he should have his own movie.
100%.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're going to end it here. We're glad 35 people on the stream, man. We're happy that you guys joined us tonight, man. To talk about stuff. We will be live tomorrow night to talk about some Fantastic Four. Will not be like an hour or 2 hours, but we're definitely going to jump on and talk some Fantastic Four. We hope you guys have a great night. Stay crispy and peace out, y'all. By the way, before we leave, I hope they keep the same actor. That's one of the greatest castings ever. By the way,
Which one?
Yeah, he needs a stay.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he beat the case too, so there's no reason to.
So
we're gonna end it here. Peace out, y'all. TikTok.